Hello, and welcome to episode 3 of Creative Inclinations, a one on one conversation based podcast about art, music, culture, entertainment, and more. With me, David Steele. Today is a special episode because I brought on a special guest, Caleb Huntley,
Hey.
aka Cage.
What's
Cage
up,
the
everybody?
Beast.
What's up? What's up? Yes, sir.
Yeah, man. Thanks for coming.
I'm not the best. I'm the beast.
Yeah, man. I always like that because it's like the initials, CAJ, right? Is that
That's
your...
my. Yeah, I won't give the world my entire government, but yeah, no,
yeah.
it wasn't just an artist's name that I
Yeah.
came up with.
Mm-hmm.
It was kind of a nickname that the world gave me.
Nice.
Because my parents always called me Cage.
Oh, nice. I didn't. Yeah. that's
Caleb
cool.
is the C, and then A and J is my two middle names.
Yeah.
So I have two middle names, and I just cut the H off, obviously.
Yeah.
So that's so my whole family growing up used to call me Cage. It was just, hey, Cage, come here.
That was the
Cage, come here.
quick little.
Yeah, like my brother's name is LJ, even though that's a nickname for his real name, because
Right.
his real name's John. He's a junior.
Yeah.
So we called
okay.
him Little John.
Yeah, because that's
and then it turned to LJ, and then me growing up with him, it turned to Elge. Because I just got it even shorter. It was just Elge.
Is that your younger brother, right?
Older brother.
Older. Okay.
Older
okay.
brother. Yeah, I'm the youngest of all.
okay.
So I have two sisters.
Yeah.
And my brother.
Okay.
And I'm the baby.
Nice.
I was the unplanned. Holy crap! I'm having another one.
The fourth. Yeah.
I always say it too. It's like It's so funny because when I learned it, I was like, "Wait, I did what?" Because I was actually a birth control baby.
Oh,
so I was
wow.
like, "Dang, I was born. I was a fighter before I was even
it's like
born.
the
I
world-
beat birth control. I was getting into this matrix
Hell yeah,
one
that's
way or
awesome.
the other. I was like, I didn't know that.
Yeah, the
But yeah,
world.
when I found that out, I was like,
you
oh
couldn't
boy.
stop. The world needed you here.
I guess I was like, man, I gotta lock into my purpose some
Yeah,
more or
that's
whatever. Because
cool.
apparently I got here with
Yeah.
a fight.
Nice.
I'm like, dang.
That's good. So yeah. So thanks for coming. Like I
Dude,
was
thanks
saying,
for having.
I think we met. Maybe I remember meeting you and a bunch of other people, like a lot of these creative people here locally, around like 2018, I think, and maybe you were just starting with your stuff. When did you start putting music out and doing?
Well, I've done so much and changed and evolved so much.
So you
'cause,
kind of had some different things going on over the years.
Like when I really started pushing more so rap and
Yeah.
stuff and like doing that, I was in Cleveland. So I was
before you came here. Nice.
I was like 14 or 15 when I really started like the rapping phase.
Okay.
And that was under my old name. It was the Curb Kid, which the Curb Kid's tight. I ruined the end of the name because I called it the Curb Kid C-Flow, and I was like,
okay.
totally butchered it at the last name.
That could have been cool.
So could have been cool. I might still come out with like an album called the Curb Kid.
Kind of throwback.
Because I mean, in genuality, like that's what
idea.
I was though. Like I was a Curb Kid.
Yeah.
Like I grew up
yeah,
hanging out in the streets,
so you grew up
skateboarding.
in Cleveland.
I grew up in Lorain, Ohio.
Okay.
But when people ask me like where I'm from, I just
Mhm.
I'm one of those people that
It's
says
around-
from Cleveland.
That's where you probably hung out at.
I hung out,
and
and that was my thing. Is
where
like
you could get up there. I'm
yep.
sure.
I mean, and it wasn't too far. It was like 20 minutes
Mhm.
away, 25 minutes to get to
Mhm.
downtown Cleveland. But that's where I skateboarded
Right.
probably the most. Was like me and my
Okay.
friends would go out there almost all the time.
Mhm.
Because we used to have this really cool spot called the Skate Kitchen, and you paid like $2.65 for a little key fob.
Hmm.
And what it was a skate park built underneath a T-shirt printing warehouse.
Oh, nice. That's just
So
a cool
dope.
idea.
It was
yeah.
such a culturally dope place.
Yeah.
It was called the Skate Kitchen.
They probably had some cool designs, like skate.
It was
culture
just
type stuff.
well,
that they
so yeah,
printed.
warehouses above you, and then
Yeah.
you'd go in, and there was a big mini ramp.
Yeah.
And then it wasn't like a big space. It was like the mini ramp, a little opening for like some good flat ground spot. And then
Yeah.
behind the mini ramp, you had this huge wall ride that was really fun. And then that's when you had like your boxes and ledges. And then we had a bank. So you could just
Mhm.
hit the bank, go down, hit your box, hit the wall ride, swing back, hit a rail, and just stay in a great little flow.
Mm-hmm.
And then you wanted to go skate. So we used to go out there, and it was Jack Prince's warehouse was a t-shirt place. For anyone who's thinking like, where was that at? We used to go there real late at night and skate for like 6-7 hours.
So that's what you're saying. You got the key fob to get into the place.
It was 24/7.
Yeah.
So as long as you had a key fob, you could get in. So we would always run into a bunch of other skaters up there and whatnot. But we were able to avoid a lot of people because we would go super late.
Whenever nobody was
there.
And
then we would skate till like 6 a.m. and then go get go to Golden Corral for all you can eat buffet. And like that was what we did. We drank all through the night.
Yeah.
And then we would drive and go, like once we got done skating, we'd go and get food at the buffet for breakfast and then go home and then go to sleep.
Yeah.
And then so very nocturnal.
Yeah.
But I mean skateboarding is, I still skate to this day. I definitely don't go as hard as I used to. And I wouldn't even attempt to try to go like pro nowadays.
Right.
Like back in the day, I was really. I could have in that era, because like I was able to flip into tricks and flip out, and like, but now that's like, that's light work to these kids. They're doing stuff that I'm like, geez, y'all evolved this sport so fast.
We were skaters back in the day. It was like kind of all of high school, pretty much. Like that was 9th grade through. And then it was like as soon as you got a car, you kind of like it started to get less and less. And then you get older, you're like, okay, I got to go to work. And it's just the whole thing.
It's a tough thing.
But also for me, too, it's like I just kept getting hurt. It's like the older you got, the more you got hurt. It's like I just can't. I had to just give it up completely.
Yeah, I went skating
after about 20. I was
this
like,
past summer, and I took a fall.
Yeah.
And it kind of in a weird way though felt good.
Yeah.
Because I was like, like I haven't felt that kind of instant pain in a while, and it's kind of like,
you
all right,
forget.
kind of shake it off. But I never got like majorly hurt.
Right.
Skateboarding.
Yeah, I twisted my ankle pretty gnarly. Not never broke anything. So luckily,
I'm grateful for the pain tolerance that it built up in me. I mean, I would have swollen hips and third knees on my shins from the board hitting it, and it was just like, I'm still gonna go do it. Right. I think skateboarding influences my music a lot.
Yeah, the culture. That's for me. It was just like the first time I had found something that like I felt like I could be a part of.
Yep. And that's skateboarding. That's the joy of.
It's
we
like
kind
you
of
find
get this
your people.
Goofy era. I think social media is making that kind of a bit of an issue. Where like, I can't stand when like other skaters like hate on skaters. I'm like, dude, we're all
it's like hate on the rollerbladers. That's the enemy.
Don't get mad at this dude. He's just out here like doing the same thing you want to do, which is just enjoy skateboarding. Because the thing about like skateboarding that I love is like kind of forces you, especially while you're skating, to really live in the moment. Because we see you watch a kickflip from the exterior, watch somebody do it, it looks like it happens so quick.
Yeah.
But it's like
when
you're actually in it, that board is rotating so slow, and then that whole moment is like pop.
I never thought about that.
Catch. And it just slows down. It's like, because I do archery as well and bow hunt.
Yeah.
So that's like another thing for me that is when I'm taking that shot, I'm so zoned in that like everything else in the world fades away for that little bit of time. And that's what skateboarding really did. And then it's like, it really teaches a person how to just get back up on their own. Yeah. Like, I think so. Get up on their own. No one, because I was very into organized sports. Like I played baseball, I played football. I never played basketball at school, but my dad was a basketball coach. My sisters, they both played high school. My brother played in high school.
Especially being around that. I mean, with everyone in your family being into sports, it's like you're always pushing, that competitive and that kind of drive to get better at something.
And well, like when I did football and stuff, I was still doing music, but I was doing like what did I do? Well, there's a couple different eras that I kind of quit. Because I think
Yeah.
I was in jazz band for like 1 year in like 8th
Yeah.
grade. I did
So,
drums and guitar.
what was the first? Let me take it back to like, because that was one of my questions. Like, what was one of your like earliest memories of playing music or wanting to be a performer? And do you have anything like that? Those one, like when you're a kid or something like that. Did you see something on TV or
Trying to
something?
think of what. Yeah, like
Has it
what.
always been a part of something? Like,
It
it's
has.
hard
My
to
parents
say.
just recently got like some old VHS tapes, and it's
Yeah.
funny because I was like super young.
Yeah.
Because I was born here, raised in Ohio.
Okay.
So I lived here till I was like 4.5,
Mm.
and I remember they showed us like an old video and I had a harmonica,
Mm.
and I was like, oh, so maybe this is way
Yeah.
younger than even I thought.
Yeah, it's like,
But I did. What grade was that?
did you like grow up singing a lot when you were younger? Or...
Not really, but I did end up. I was in drama class.
Yeah.
And I guess I kind of did because I did do like plays
Yeah.
and choirs and stuff in like not high school, but what would that be? Elementary school.
Yeah, like maybe middle
So
school
like
or
5th,
something.
6th grade,
Mm-hmm.
I was doing
Yeah.
plays.
So yeah,
doing,
that was something that you wanted to be on stage. That's like something about being
yes,
a performer and
yep.
being the center of a.
And I did, yeah, because I did a lot of plays. I went to this weird private school for a little bit because like we moved and my parents weren't sure.
Yeah.
So they tried this school because it was kind of attached to the church we went to at the time. So they're like, let's get you in here. It's
Better,
it's a private school. It's not
a little bit better than
expensive.
public. Yeah. Let's say for
And I just don't. I'm grateful for what that school was, but in the same breath, like it was so short lived before I was
Okay.
back in public school, and that'll throw you for a loop because you go back to public school and you're like, "Oh, this is not like that school at all."
Yeah.
And then I also blew through public school grade wise, but musically, that spot got me into what did I start with? I started with violin. Was one that I started learning.
Yeah, it's like something like when you're 4th grade or whatever, they just stick you with that.
And then I went to viola.
Yeah.
And then I ultimately stuck on cello.
Yeah.
And cello is and still is one of my favorite instruments, hands down.
I like the sound of it. It's definitely my favorite, one of my favorite stringed instruments.
Resonates just so
like that,
differently. Like there's just something so powerful about the cello.
Yeah, because that's something about like I like that even as I'm a bass player, right? But like I don't really care for like a stand up bass.
Yeah, when they say
necessarily.
tip it sideways and cello.
Yeah,
it's
right.
A bass.
That's what it is. Yeah.
So I started cello, and it's funny because like I used to be able to. I know I still can. I know it's still up there, but like I used to be able to read music and sight read very.
Yeah.
That was a really, I got really good at cello.
Yeah.
So I was like first chair, even though I was young, but like we were still like we played for the Capitol in Columbus, Ohio.
Yeah.
Like so I did a lot of concerts.
Yeah.
Like that.
That was kind of your early kind of musical history.
Yeah, and then I wanted to learn saxophone for a long time, and the school I was going to at the time, you had to play clarinet for like 3 months or something.
To kind of work up
so
to it.
I got a clarinet. And then because I also did snare drum. For like band and stuff like side orchestral.
Yeah.
So it wasn't marching band.
Right.
But it was like a band.
Oh, okay.
Or band and orchestra.
A part of the orchestra.
Yeah.
Right,
like orchestra I was on cello, band I was playing snare drum. And then so I did the clarinet, which then a bunch of crazy crap happened at that private school. And my parents were like, "Oh no, you're out." Yeah, it was so weird, bro. We ended up having like a racist principal.
Yeah.
But the weirdest thing is she was black. So that was threw me for a loop at a young age. I'm like, why do you you hate us and we look just like you? It was so weird.
You're on the wrong side.
So I went to public school and the public school was out of saxophones. Yeah. So like give out. Oh. So I couldn't even play. And so saxophone just faded away. That was always
your kind of white whale.
Yeah, I have two now. So
So you
I
did
got
get to
them.
eventually.
I got them. 18 to 20 years later.
Yeah.
I finally bought. I was like, you know what? I always wanted a sax when I was a kid. I'm gonna get one.
Yeah.
I haven't played it in like
Yeah.
2.5 years, which kind of sucks. It's such a fun instrument.
Yeah.
But it's one of the most demanding, and that's kind of why I like it though, because once again, it really makes you focus and lock in. So just everything, your body, your breathing.
Really know. I mean, I don't know. I've never really. I actually used to know a saxophone player that I used to play with a little bit, but I've never really talked to anybody about even how to even do it. It's like it's probably.
And I've been self-taught just about on everything, because that leads to what happened. So I did those. I eventually ended up putting away the cello.
Yeah.
And my parents bought me a guitar.
Yeah.
And that's what.
So how old were you when you got your first guitar?
I think I was 12.
Yeah.
12 or 13, somewhere around then. So that really broke me out of somewhat the institutionalized
that kind
way of music and kind of everything. Like I was very band, orchestra, team oriented, football, track, those type things, baseball. I always had like a coach, and then when the guitar came in, I kind of got to the point of like the rebel almost, kind of like independence.
It's like the teenage years.
You know what I'm saying?
You're kind of like trying to
and
find your own way.
Skateboarding found its way in,
like that kind
and then
of.
It was like the culmination of
right.
like, oh, I'm a skateboarder. I play, and then so I ended.
And you're the youngest, right? So that's always a huge thing. I think 'cause I'm second to youngest. I have a big family of brothers and sisters. There's 6 of us, right? So like a lot of older brothers and sisters.
Yeah.
So like like something about that like makes you want to break away from the mold. Type thing. Yeah.
And I've always had an issue with authority.
Yeah.
To be completely honest, I just don't. I've tried to figure out a way to make it make sense, but I just don't like authority.
Right.
I don't like being told what to do, and that was like because I was playing football in 8th grade, and I was gonna go play in high school, and they're like, "Oh yeah, but you have like 2 days or 3 days," and I'm like, I ain't doing that.
Yeah.
And because it wasn't my passion. Now, I do love football.
But it's not. Yeah.
But like, I was like, no, I'd rather. Really, I was like, I'd rather skate because I like the feeling skateboarding gives me because once again, it's independent. No one's telling me to do anything, and that kind of really
very creative. It's very freeing.
Super creative.
Yeah. I mean, it's just
and it bled into the music side of things where I was like, oh, okay.
So that's kind of what got you. So was there like any early influences of music? Like, I mean, I know in the skateboarding, obviously, were you into like punk rock a lot back then? Or that type of.
I had like multiple phases of music. Like now I enjoy it all.
Yeah.
But I definitely had an era to where it was like, okay, I really only listen to rap.
Right.
And then there's other eras where I was like, I'm not listening to any rap. I'm listening to like Panic at the Disco, My Chemical Romance, so like very polar switch for some time.
But that's that's very heavy into the skate community. That type of
well, it was, and I was like a smooth jazz kid when I went to sleep. Like I used to have this thing just playing the smooth jazz channel while I went to bed. It's weird because everything got progressively heavier.
Yeah,
it started there, like especially with the guitar. It started that way, and then. It went into kind of like ACD. I wouldn't say it was.
Yeah,
it went into more like Panic at the Disco era first.
Okay.
And then a little bit to like classic rock, and then it led to like Avenged Sevenfold and Metallica, and then that led to. I didn't really do Korn or Slipknot. I didn't really do them too much. They do have some great records for sure, but I kind of skipped a little bit from like Metallica, and also in the before the metal phase, like Wolfmother.
Oh yeah, I like Wolfmother. I forgot about that.
Yeah,
dude,
actually.
I was similar. Like I grew up. I just grew up when I was really young, listening to a lot of pop music on the radio, and I still have a soft spot for pop music. I don't know. It's
I think
weird.
too. Now I think about it too. I guess a big influence kind of probably would have been
just
like Tony Hawk.
yeah, all
Just
that stuff.
playing
Yeah,
Tony Hawk.
that was how I found a lot of kind
Yeah.
of punk stuff.
I wanna
Honestly,
live in Los
yeah,
Angeles.
yeah.
I got
But
you.
yeah, I kind of got into. I was on like whatever top 40 pop in the early 2000s, but I got into like indie rock with the Strokes and stuff like that.
Yeah, see, I never went like
Indie kind of.
yeah.
But I never really was into like a lot of punk or especially when you were saying like Avenged Sevenfold and that type of heavy stuff. I never really touched the heavy stuff. But
And that was like a short, but that
Yeah.
for me too. That was because I was learning a lot of their guitar.
yeah, it's like you're
riffs, like, I
interested in
was
that. I mean,
learning the
that's what's awesome
guitar.
about it is the good stuff they do on guitar is
Like
incredible.
Slayer,
Yeah.
like Raining Blood,
Yeah.
and then obviously guitar player, play a lot of Guitar Hero.
Yeah.
So
that's
rock
like a lot
band,
of stuff kind of
so
just
like a lot of that music. Obviously Jimi Hendrix.
yeah.
I listened to a lot when I was growing up.
Right.
Yeah,
because that's something that I've always appreciated about your stuff was whenever I like all your music. I think my favorite is like when you get into the soul, that old school, like any of, especially the covers and stuff like that you do.
Yeah.
It's like I love soul music and R&B and that kind of like rap and hip hop. It's like I'm less of a fan of overall,
Especially
as opposed to
this
that.
era is garbage right now.
Yeah.
It needs a resurgence, which I'm hope I at this point I really do believe like I will be a big part of that.
Yeah.
Of like kind of the
Yeah.
I just feel like a lot of the music nowadays is lacking substance.
Yeah.
Like the hip hop is lacking substance. Because you'll listen to something and you'll be like, okay, it sounded cool, so to speak.
Yeah, it's
But, like, what did
interesting,
you
but yeah,
actually say?
What is
What
the
is
actual
this
meaning?
song about?
Yeah.
And I don't like when I listen to a song and it goes from like, oh, I just did it with this chick but now I'm at the bank. It kind of just they go all over the place. It seems like, and then kind of tie it in with a hook, and I'm like, but the verses made no sense. It's just like spotty subject topics. Y'all can't stay on like a subject throughout a song.
Yeah.
Kind
of all over the place.
But then also, from Avenged Sevenfold to Metallica, it went to like death metal and heavy metal. So like, Born of Osiris, The Devil Wears Prada, Bring Me the Horizon, Suicide Silence. Who's some other ones that I really liked? Alicia. So like I went heavy. And then I ended up when I was 13 or 14, I might have been 15 by then. I was a death metal vocalist for a metal band.
Was that your first kind of band experience or getting into music?
Like band-wise?
Yeah, like playing that kind of...
Yeah, like with a band and stuff, yeah.
Or just even, playing. Because did you play guitar or you just sang?
I play guitar, but in that specific group, I was the lesser of the guitar players.
Yeah.
They were
But that's cool. That's kind of a nice way to get into that kind of, how it works playing with groups and bands.
Yeah,
and stuff like that.
and I eventually do want to get a band.
Yeah, because I was going to ask you. You've always done solo stuff.
Yeah,
it's like,
yeah,
so
I don't know. The band's got to be able.
It's tough. It's hard to.
Yeah, and it's just got to be. They got to be diverse. Players.
Yeah, yeah, because
if
you're all over the place.
Like if I'm like, hey, we're gonna go from a metal song to a blues song in like literally a snap of a finger.
Right. Yeah. So that could be why.
I think it'll line up. I don't know if I might just break out first as a solo artist.
Yeah, I mean, I think that
just have a band built around
whatever
me.
you're doing. I feel like you should just keep doing it because it's like if you try to go switch to that mode now, it's like you would probably set yourself back, honestly.
Because it would be a whole extra like, oh, now I'm like, I really do because I do kind of feel like it would be like, oh, it would take me like a whole year to really get a band locked in, finding the band members. So I was like, maybe I can just become that artist and have that band built around me, and then I'm like, cool.
Yeah, speaking of which, when did you start releasing music under Cage? Was it because I know you have something from 2021. Was there anything before that?
Not under Cage.
Yeah,
because I had so many different names.
Right.
I was especially like when I moved here, I was trying to figure out
find your
find the name. I kept avoiding the obvious, which was Cage, because I knew people would mispronounce it.
Yeah,
which
it's
they
kind of.
do. Don't care.
I guess what else would you say? You see that? I mean, I guess it's just
People
hard
say
to.
cash,
Yeah.
Kosh. And I'm like, no.
Yeah, I guess it could. It kind of has it could be like a Middle Eastern or something like I don't know. People see that.
And I'm
think,
like, whatever. But I guess I
Cage.
had to stop overthinking
Yeah.
it because of I was like, people have weird pronouncing
Yeah,
artist
I mean,
names all the
especially
time.
these days,
Yeah.
know, you kind of have to do something like this even to stand out.
And you know what? It's funny because it eventually will work in my favor.
Yeah.
To where like someone like, have you heard this artist Kaj? And then a real fan will be like, dude, it's Cage.
Yeah, right.
And they're like, no, it's not. I'm like,
Yeah.
It is. So it starts debates, it starts talks.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I'm gonna roll with it. And it was the name I didn't give myself, so it feels a little bit more natural. It doesn't feel like I was just sitting in my room like I need to come up.
It's like this sounds like this is who you are, anyways.
Right.
Like
because I went. What did I do? What was I before?
Yeah.
Well, I did. Yeah, I did. Alvin James, which is the two middle names.
Yeah.
That's where you get Cage from.
Mm-hmm.
Caleb Alvin James, really quick. It's just Cage.
Right.
So, that's where I got. Yeah, I went like Alvin James. I went Caleb Alvin James.
Mm-hmm.
That's where I had like one more name besides like the Curb Kid. And then Cage the Beast was up and running for that.
Because that's the thing is if you have it Cage the Beast, I mean, I don't know, that makes it a little bit more like, oh, it's Cage. That's how, you know what I mean? Like if you had that.
That was the play.
Right. You're trying to make it.
So that was part of the reason why I was like, well, that might help people understand what it is. But I even had other artists that were like, dude, I just realized your name is Cage the Beast. And
I think that's cool. People, because whenever people realize that, they're like, oh, that's cool. You know, like it makes them feel good, even if it's like it takes, you want them to get it right away, but even if it takes a little while, I think it's. Whenever people realize that there's more behind a name, I think that they like that.
Well, yeah, because now not only are you getting Cage the Beast, as I'm calling myself the Beast, it's also
it's like that
instructions to cage the beast.
Because that's the thing too, right? Because you're a lot of, like you were saying, a lot of your songs and stuff like that, it is very like a focused message or something like that you're trying to do.
I always try to slip. I mean, I don't like government at all. I think it's a big old clown show.
Especially,
and I think we're just, so I mean that's where like songs like Lock Me Down came into play.
Yeah, because I wanted to go through some of these anyways, in particular because I kind of went through and I wanted to ask you a little bit about each, maybe not all of them, but at least several of them, because I think that'd be interesting to some stories or whatever that you could tell from them. But yeah, so 2021 you released was Let You Know. Was that the first single?
I forgot. I really
that was on. These are all from your Spotify.
Range Rovers, Lambos, Bentley Coupes, things I envision for me and you. To be honest,
that's the only reason I found it.
Let You Know. Now Let You Know. That's a love record. And I forget how much of a bop it actually is.
Cause everything I listened to was really good. It's like some of these I'd heard before, but some of them I hadn't. So.
And that one, I mean, I mixed and mastered and all that.
Yeah.
The beat.
I was gonna ask you too about the production.
Yeah, I do all my own.
Nice.
If I don't do it, you'll know. Like, the only producer I'm working with right now is Cut a Classic. And he has his producer tag that you'll hear. So if you don't hear him,
it's all.
I don't have a producer tag yet. I thought about coming up with one just so like people know, like, oh, he makes beats too. But I'm like, I guess if you don't hear the producer tag,
you kind of have to assume
I made it. And so Let You Know, all the records on there that I have out are all produced by me, except for
the ones that say
Dirty Gloves and Candy, which are the two Gorillas.
So that was one of the early ones, and one of them I thought was really interesting that I forgot. Maybe I knew, and then at one point, but you were on Jarvik's record.
Tame the lionfish. Tame the lionfish.
Because that showed up on your Spotify too.
I forget about
It was really because I like that whole Jarvix record about the fish.
So goofy. I can't even remember why I said yes.
Yeah, how did you get hooked up with? That's kind of why I wanted to ask you.
He just like hit me up.
Yeah.
And I just at that point in time in my career.
Yeah, you're like, why not?
Yeah, it was kind of like, well, and also it was a musical challenge.
Yeah.
For me. Because the song is in like 16/9.
Oh wow! Yeah.
So I was like,
re-listen to it now. I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's a super.
Really weird.
Wacky time signature. So when he told me that, I was like, I just kind of want to flex my musical muscle.
To see what happens.
Yeah, I'm like, I just want to flex the music muscle and see if I can come up with something.
Yeah.
A, about lionfish.
Yeah.
And
wild,
two, it's such a weird time signature. I always, when I did that record, it popped on my Spotify. No offense to Jarvis, but myself.
It's just
I'm
wild.
Like,
it's just a wild. I think
I think it's gonna have a weird. It's gonna have a weird like come up.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I need to find like Discovery Channel. Like when they do like a lionfish documentary
you're gonna find where it needs to go.
Yeah, I'll find where it needs to go.
And
then it'll be hilarious.
Right.
I
just think it's like it definitely is something that stands out. If you look at your discography, right, like of the stuff you have, it's like, what is this weird? You know, it's
what is this random
weird.
thing? Yeah.
But I think that's cool because it's
funny.
like kind of everybody has something weird like that on their.
And I really
because it's a fun little.
I've gotten to a point too where I just don't care.
Right.
Because I have a punk rock record coming out.
Okay.
And I love it. It's so fun. It's quick, short, sweet, dirty. It's
probably a lot different.
To the point. But it's catchy as hell. And once again, we produced it. I worked with my buddy from Wild Wake. And, you know, a part of me is like, oh, if I release that and then release this. But I'm like, dude, I just make music. It's just what I do.
Yeah.
I'm not a rapper. I just can rap better than all of you.
Like that's just another thing that you do.
Yeah, people are like, oh, you're like Jimi Hendrix. I'm like, I'm not though, because I can out rap all these people. So it's like I've gone through so many phases of music that I've taken something from everything.
That's what's
And then you know it. So it's like I just quit caring, and I think the world nowadays is like people's playlists are all over the place. Anyway.
People are more accepting of other genres, maybe.
100%, I think.
Especially because, like you said, and today, it's like people are always trying to find the new genres. It's like mashing up so much of the genres, so it's like it's hard to even tell what is what. I mean,
that's how I feel with a lot of my music. I mean, like the Blood, for example.
Can't tell me.
It starts off with 808s and rapping, and the next thing you know, it's like dun dun dun. You don't think I know him? And then I'm doing death gutturals like in the background vocals. You don't think I know this? So it's like people hear it like, what the? Oh, he really brought, and then it's the point of doing that and bringing it back to cohesion, to where songs like. It's not going all over the place and losing its identity. It's still like that's like Lock Me Down, for example.
Right.
I won't let you lock me down.
People love that. Like that record. You know, I love that record because you can listen to it right now and it sounds like brand new. It's so ahead of its time. But every person that's ever heard that record, it's like 10 out of 10. That's it's new, it's fresh, it's pop, it's rock, it's So
I like that one. I like the video that you did for that. You have a few videos.
And the Sand Dunes.
Yeah, that was fun. I remember when you put that out, and I was very impressed. That was like, when was that? 2020.
I think 2022.
Yeah, that's what
Late
that was.
2021.
That was the next one. Yeah, I was gonna bring that because and that was like kind of. I felt like it was during the pandemic, which it kind of was. I mean,
it was.
But
because
that was
inspired by it.
Right.
100%.
That's. I think that's probably what it was like it felt like of that era for some reason. But yeah,
It definitely was like a big FU
Mhm.
to the government,
Mhm.
and I was pissed. I
Yeah.
hated the whole lockdown situation.
Right. That's what it, yeah.
And so it bloomed, or it stemmed from that. But the way I wanted to write the record and design it was you necessarily wouldn't know. Like you couldn't. I
Right.
wasn't gonna give you.
It wasn't like that obvious.
Yeah, because I had a guy hit me up and was like, he's like, bro, like this song got me through my divorce.
Right.
And I was
Yeah.
like, whoa.
Because I mean, the feelings that you feel about whatever it is that made you feel those feelings are universal.
Yes.
I think, and more so
Well, and
than
it's
the
now
actual
it's-
situation. Even though the thing about the pandemic is we all experienced,
Mhm.
so much of that. So
And
Like
you
the-
can, you can now, you can attach that to any situation of, I'm not gonna let this job lock me down. I'm not gonna let this
Right.
boss lock
Yeah.
me down. I'm not gonna let this person that's manipulating me lock me down.
Mhm.
So like you can really interpret that into any situation in your life that has to do with just a situation locking you down.
right, whatever
You're
it
saying
is.
no to it.
Mhm.
So whatever it is. But yeah, I mean, like, think you got all the answers, and I know I sort of self-destruct.
Yeah.
Whipping in my car, headed nowhere because the whole city was shut down.
Yeah, right.
So I was like, whipping in my car, headed
Yeah.
nowhere.
Oh,
But it's like, so, and I, once again, don't like, not a big
Yeah.
government guy.
Which that's what I love about music too. And like I guess I didn't really realize how political your music was in that way because
Mhm.
I think of it as like I think that's good. That's why I think art is important is that we can we use it to express ourselves and to express something in us that will hopefully someone else sees and it can affect the world and maybe
Yep.
change or whatever
Just
it
light a
is.
fire.
Yeah, it's just like-
real, I wouldn't be mad if I had the soundtrack to the revolution.
Right, yeah,
it's
it's like-
type deal. Because I mean, ski mask.
Yeah.
We'll talk about those. But there's always sometimes a little bit of an underlying to like F the government.
Right, yeah,
Little
something
bit
in there.
In there, especially. I mean, I don't have an album out yet, so I guess I shouldn't say the name. But I think, I mean, yeah, I just want us as the people to kind of wake up, take a bit more responsibility for the things around us, for our
Mhm.
livelihood,
Mhm.
because it's obviously clear that the people up top
Right,
don't care. And
right.
it's like, okay,
Yeah.
like how much do we have to believe the toxic X that says they're really going to change this time? Come
Mhm.
on now.
Yeah.
It's their nature. However,
Yeah.
you're not
It's like you have to take whatever control you have over your life and
back.
you
Yeah.
know, or it's like anything that you can control. I mean, obviously there's so much in the government that we have no control over, but they're
Mhm.
fucking us all over. But
big
it's
time.
like you can't worry so much about that if you can help it at least. But like try to focus on okay, what do I have that can make my life better? It's like
yeah, and leave kind of that impact of maybe it does inspire young kids to get
Mhm.
into politics and go like,
Right.
hey,
Yeah.
like we're pushing this old phase out,
Right.
and we're gonna do this properly.
Mm-hmm.
Because like the EP Bottom of the Well.
Yeah, that's something. That was the next thing because that was you usually do singles, which I think is
Mhm.
fascinating because I
Mhm.
think that there's a way with music because there's like a debate in like in groups that I have and whatever band I'm in. It's like, do you focus on singles or you
All
do
day.
albums? So it's like, and that's the whole thing, and it goes back for generations
Mhm.
of you go back to the Beach Boys and the Beatles doing singles, and that kind of took over. And then Zeppelin comes in and does albums, and it kind of goes that way, and it kind of goes back and forth.
The pendulum always
Yeah.
swings, but I would say for any kind of upcoming artist,
Mm-hmm.
you just gotta watch. You gotta notice the change in landscape.
Yeah.
You're either gonna push one album for
Mm-hmm.
2 to 3 years,
Right.
and the problem is the perception of the people
Mhm.
are gonna be like, oh well, nothing's new dropped, and you're like,
Yeah.
I got 24 songs, and, still,
Yeah,
and you
but
can't
still,
expect people that don't know you
Mm-hmm.
to invest that much time into discovering you.
Right.
So if you're not a well-known artist and here's a 24 song album,
Mm-hmm.
dude, 3 of the songs are gonna get touched at max for now. Instead of taking those 24 records and dropping 2 to 3 records every month for a year, and with this new social media landscape, drop those all the time, and now you're constantly in people's faces.
You're always
constantly
relevant.
It looks fresh.
Right.
It looks new. You're like, oh wait, I got new content. Oh, okay, I got new content. So I think that's a big thing that changed my way. I wanted that to be Bottom of the Well was meant to be. I wanted to take. I was trying to find that middle ground between singles and albums.
Yeah, have a little bit
I'll
more
have a EP
extended.
But I wanted to make it. I wanted to make it sound cool and call them 3 Ps.
Okay.
3 Ps. You're still getting a body, small body of work with substance, a story.
That is a good. Like 3 instead of
right. And I can still do it, but now I know I have to change it because Spotify and stupid Apple Music, if you upload 3 songs, they consider it a single. And it can really kill your traffic too. Because like people will get on my Spotify,
it says
singles and EPs or whatever, and then if you click Bottom of the Well, then it shows you Ski Mask in the Blood. It doesn't show you that. So I'm probably gonna re-upload them. Right. Honestly, I'm probably
just do them separate, maybe. Or
probably gonna I'm probably gonna re-upload them, transfer them from one distributor to another. Probably give them new cover art, individual cover art. And then if I do another 3P, I'm gonna have like a BS intro and a BS outro.
Just have extra
just
tracks.
To give 5,
but
the body is still 3.
Yeah, no, that's a good
just to
workaround.
Play the algorithm,
at least.
so to speak. Because
like
that pissed me off. I uploaded that. I was like, "Are you kidding me? Like it shows up as a single."
That's a good tip because, like I said, I've only done EPs. Really, I mean, we do about usually 4-song EPs. I like doing that because I don't like doing just one. I think if you have a really, really strong single, obviously it can carry itself. But I feel like having 4 songs is a good, like you said, you can kind of show a little bit of a variety maybe in your have a stretch your legs, I guess, a little bit with that.
Yeah, and I think for me with my style of like you kind of never know. It's kind of funny because I got to lean into my vision. I've had so many people in the music industry try to tell me, hey, you need to stick to this lane. You need to stick to this. And I'm like, well, y'all ain't ever been to one of my shows. You know what I'm saying? It was like, y'all have never seen one of my shows. You've never seen how well it's accepted.
Yeah.
And like people like this, I don't know what's coming next style of show where it's like, oh my gosh, this dude is rapping his ass off, running back and forth, and then now
switching
boom,
instruments.
Yeah, now he's serenading me with a blues record. Like, how do you go from Tupac to Chris Stapleton?
But something about it is, I feel like, I don't know, maybe it's just because it's all what you like, right? It's all you. It's all me. So it kind of feels like it makes sense together in some way.
I've been told that. I've been told that where people were like, it's strange because they're like, I can listen to your whole discography and feel all the different vibes very well, but then ultimately, like, because I do a lot of different voices. Like, I change my voice quite a bit because my thing is I'm just merely a conduit for music.
Yeah, so you're kind of creating whatever
the song needs falsettos, I'm doing falsettos.
Nice.
If the song needs old school bluesy dirt blues sound, I can do that. Oh, it needs death metal vocals, I can do that. Oh, it needs monotone rap. It needs high pitched hyper rap. So it's like whenever the song is being made, that's why I wouldn't be a good like beat maker producer because I'm pretty selfish with the music, but that's my relationship with it. It's like I don't really care to do like features and collabs. I'll do them.
Yeah.
But it's got to make a lot of sense to me because part of me is just like,
Yeah, that's something. Well, and then the next thing you released was the Ain't No Sunshine cover.
Ain't no sunshine when she's gone. It's not warm when she's away. Ain't no sunshine.
Which is crazy because that one's older than all of those.
I don't know why it showed up.
Well, no. Uploading. I held on to
yeah.
that for like 7 years.
Oh, okay.
And never
you had it
dropped
recorded,
it.
yeah.
Way back. Did the cover years ago.
Because was that an acoustic song?
Technically, well, okay, so I'm on electric guitar on that
Right.
record, but I use a looping board
Okay.
on my pedal, and the drums are the guitar pickups
Okay.
and the neck.
Yeah.
So for the kick drum, I'm hitting the bridge, or the bridge, and
Right.
doom, doom,
Yeah.
and then I smack the neck for the snare.
Mm-hmm.
Then I loop it,
Nice.
and then I play on
Yeah,
it. It's
yeah.
a clean tone acoustic, but it adds a little bit more dirt and bite to it.
I've always liked that about acoustic, using it as a percussion instrument also.
Yep, 'cause that's like Lambo. Lambo's a lot of
Yeah. That was one of the acoustic ones for sure.
I love that
really
record.
Yeah.
Such a good record. And I've had really good people tell me like, "Man, that's an incredible record." I'm like, "Well, I hear that from you."
I never really heard you play acoustic until I heard those recordings, because I usually have your guitar on and you perform live, or your electric
I used to
guitar.
suck at acoustic really, really bad.
It's
Because like when I
definitely
grew up playing guitar, I grew up on Metallica.
Yeah, playing.
I knew how to sweep on guitar before I knew how to
Because
change chords. for the
acoustic
most part.
is harder to play generally. I mean, it's
It's-
just on your hands, right? I mean,
Just figuring out. I mean, definitely like on callus wise,
Right.
thicker strings and the press down, it can get tiring quicker.
it's like, that's why I've always heard a lot of people will say, like, if you want to learn, if you're a beginner guitar player and you want to learn, just play on electric, because it's
Learning
easier.
on electric, it's easier to press the strings down.
But if you do acoustic, it's probably ultimately better. You'll get better.
Well,
if you
that
can
was
stick
me. Is
at
I
it.
learned guitar. I went from 6-string to a 7-string.
Oh,
I
wow,
started
yeah.
playing death metal.
Yeah.
So I love just
Yeah.
death metal guitar, just that
That
low.
speed.
Yeah, and I love 7 strings.
Mm-hmm.
And it's funny because I moved here to Oklahoma, and something was just like, yo, I got tired of going to, like, bonfires and stuff or parties and be like, oh,
Yeah.
you're a guitar player. And I'm like,
They
you don't
hand you a
want to
guitar.
hear metal music on the acoustic. Like, it doesn't make
So that's what you
So I was like,
kind of
oh,
push you
I-
towards
yeah.
playing
I
some
was like,
of
I
these
need
songs.
to learn chords. I
Yeah.
need to learn
Proper,
songwriting
yeah,
basics and
mhm.
stuff like that, because I ended up selling all my electric
Oh, okay.
guitar equipment that I had at the time. Kind of wish I didn't. 'Cause I had this
maybe kept on to
Univox
some
Les
of that.
Paul, dude. It was so tight. It was such a cool freaking Les Paul, and I wish I still had it. But it is what it is. But I got rid of all my electric
Mhm.
stuff, and in that way, it was like, yo, if you're gonna play guitar, you can only have acoustic.
Mm-hmm.
So I got really good at chord changes and just learning acoustic guitar.
Mm-hmm.
So it benefited me greatly. And that's when I started learning. I was real hesitant about doing covers,
Mm-hmm.
and I was like, I just kind of got out of my own way.
Yeah.
And I was like, let me just learn them.
I think that the ones you do, I love. I'm similar. Like, I hate playing covers. I think ultimately, I just don't want to. Like, I got into music to create new music, not to relearn other people's stuff. I think there's a lot of
1000%.
value in learning.
That's what I got out of
So you
it.
could,
I mean, shit. One of my favorite songs that I've done. I've only ever played it. I've only ever played it live. It's not. I've recorded it, but it's not released. But I was learning "If I Ain't Got You" by Alicia Keys on acoustic, and the intro 5 chords or whatever that she plays on the guitar version of it. Like, I took those and made this whole other record. So I was I was in the process of learning that song.
But you took it and
then I was like,
it inspired you
screw
to
that.
go somewhere
I
else.
did this on accident with these chord progressions,
Yeah.
and now that's a whole entire song.
Yeah.
So it really, and I learned a lot about other players' minds. and what
Yeah,
they're
I think
thinking.
that's what's interesting about it. I think is because it's like reading a book. I always think about this with books. I don't read a lot. I wish I read more.
I need to read a
But
little more,
like,
too.
if you read like any book that anyone's written, you're literally reading someone's mind.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yep.
you're inside someone's head.
Yep.
And I think that you can get that similarly with music. If you're playing something and seeing someone's words that they wrote, and
Yep.
then it's like you can kind of embody that a little bit.
Well, I also learned like how simple some of the older great hits
that's
are.
something I thought, because a lot of the old
Dude.
Beatles stuff,
insane.
maybe not, but like some of the old, a lot of that old classic
Ain't No
stuff.
Sunshine?
It's like
The writing on that, very
I think that
simple.
shows you how much and how important it is to keep your song simple. I think
100%.
you know what I mean, because I think that's more universe. People like connect with them better. I think the simpler ones, maybe. I don't
Yeah,
know.
100%. Like, I mean, yeah, you'll look and it's
Mhm.
like, oh, 4-line verse,
Yeah.
chorus, 4-line. Like Knocking on Heaven's Door, I did a
Mhm.
cover of that.
Yeah.
And
So
you go
simple.
like, oh. And then Where'd You Sleep Last Night, the one that Nirvana made real big. It's
Oh
originally the
yeah.
Lead Belly, but they
Uh,
did it during that MTV Unplugged.
Yeah.
And it
Yeah,
blew
the
that record
acoustic,
up. Yeah.
right? Yeah, because it's
But like so I learned that record and I'm like, it really only has 2 verses and then the rest is just repeat.
yeah.
In the pines, in the
Especially
pines.
the old like kind of blues stuff. I mean, they were very basic, kind of structure.
It just goes to show that like hooks and melodies
Yeah.
make the records.
Mhm.
Kind of
Yeah,
all day.
for sure.
I mean, Joan Jett, she said that with I don't give a damn about my bad reputation.
Oh yeah, that's super basic.
Oh, whoa,
Yeah.
whoa, 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 whoa. Oh, hey,
Mhm.
hey, hey. She's like, we didn't care.
Uh-huh.
They just wanted to yell that. Cool. And I'm like, that's that beauty of just like songwriting in the
Yeah.
moment,
Mhm.
feeling things out,
Mhm.
and it's like not getting in our own way.
Yes, I liked it a lot. As I said, all your covers that I've seen you do are just so.
I am
Well,
gonna drop
they're
Where Did You
well
Sleep?
chosen. I think because it's
Yeah.
hard to. A lot of people, if you see bands play cover songs in bars, just like they do original music and they pick a cover song, it's like, oh, that's a dumb cover. Why'd you play that? Just play
Mhm.
another original song.
Mhm.
But I think your songs are very powerful. The ones that you choose,
Yeah,
they
and
fit in
I
with your
do
style.
like the challenge a little bit of go for the greats.
Yeah, yeah.
Go after the
Just
great
play-
ones and see how people react to. Because I had people do. I haven't released it, but I think I am gonna release it. I might just fucking drop it. Not
Yeah.
care. But I have my Where Did You Sleep Last Night
Yeah.
cover.
Uh-huh.
And people are like, dude, chills. Like I need that one.
Yeah.
It's so funny when people hit me up on covers, and I'm like, really?
Mm-hmm.
Really?
Yeah, you're surprised at which ones.
Yeah,
they resonate
all
with.
day, bro. I'd like the dudes with the Kid Cudi. I did Pursuit of Happiness, which I know that I did kill that one because I've had
Yeah.
multiple people be like, "Is that an original?" I'm like, "No, it's this."
Yeah,
Oh, yeah, the record's
that's
so
awesome.
good. I was like, "I need to go."
So another the one that you released in 2023 was "Ready to Roll" anthem for the Sooners.
Yeah,
What was that? What was the story
that
there?
was never my idea, dude.
Was that something that because it was a collaboration, right? You and someone else.
Well, it's somewhat. It's a collaboration between myself, Cut a Classic, who made the production on it.
Okay,
The guitar is me,
Uh-huh.
and then Scissorhands, who's the feature on it.
Uh-huh.
He's screaming part of that Boomer Sooner in the intro, and it was really his idea. He's a super Sooners fan.
Yeah.
They know him down there. They love him down there. He's always repping that school super heavy. So him and Cutta were already at Castle Row in the studio. I just showed up, and he's like, "Oh, okay, it's perfect time." He's like, I was talking to Cutta. He's like, "I want to do an anthem for OU," and I was like, I don't want to do that.
I was curious about it because I didn't know if you were a huge Sooners fan or whatever.
I am a Sooners
Yeah.
fan. I grew up a Sooners fan,
Right.
but I'm also an Ohio State.
Yeah.
So shout out. And they're gonna win that national championship tonight. They're playing right now.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's a national championship versus Notre Dame, so it's like ooh. But yeah, I still love the Sooners. We always had OU gear in Ohio,
Mhm.
vice versa. But yeah, he asked me to do it, and I really, as an artist, my brain's like, I don't think that's a good look for me. Like, I think
Yeah.
I'm kind of attaching myself to a cop.
Yeah. Yeah. Because
And
I mean,
then
it could.
I drop the ego and just go, why not?
Mm-hmm.
I've never really done an anthem style record.
Mm-hmm.
It's fun for one. I was
Yeah.
like, let's just have fun and make a
Right.
record.
Yeah.
And so yeah, dude, that whole record came together in like 5 hours, which is
Yeah,
kind of crazy
that's
from like
cool.
literally nothing.
Yeah.
And then yeah, I grabbed my guitar and and then I couldn't think of lyrics for the life of me. Went out, took a break, and then basically wrote that in like 5 minutes, 10 minutes, and I was like, I was gonna make it super simple, like, but like,
anthem, right?
You. And so when I did that, it really worked. I do genuinely love that record, and I did a little bit of a cheat code with it because I have another version of it that has nothing to do with Sooners.
Oh, okay.
And all I had to do is change when it goes, Sooners are ready to roll. All I gotta say is, oh, you know. One more time. We're ready to roll. So I just replaced Sooners with we're ready to roll.
So you could
and
take
now it
that
could be
and-
car commercials.
Yeah.
Now it could be motorcycle. Right. That's kind of what I was thinking. Was making like a motorcycle anthem.
Yeah.
But for right now, I was like, yeah, I'll just leave it as a Sooners thing. Building the relationship with the college while I'm here.
Yeah.
You know, for
That's why
different things.
That's kind of why I wanted to ask you about it too, because it was just you see those, especially with OU. I mean, there so many people has made. Yeah, I'm sure all kinds of sports teams all over the country. They
get a couple of people that
you know what I mean. Like I only see the OU stuff or whatever, maybe some Dallas Cowboys or something like that. But that is a thing, right? It's like these anthem songs that people put out, especially hip hop artists.
And it's a bop,
and
man. We had Lil Wayne's drummer Yayo. He first heard it, and he was like,
"Yeah,
like, that's
it's
bop
legit
of a
good.
record."
Yeah, because you hear a lot of them on the radio, and you're like, "What is this shit?" You're like,
and I was like, because people are like, "I need to rap first." I was like, "I'm not doing that."
Yeah,
like I could,
really
but I was
good.
like, "No, it gives you rap at the end. It gives you that rap feel."
All right.
Still very hookish, but yeah, that one was never my idea. I
like
in.
it, but it again.
Oh, it's kind of funny though too because Scissor Hands, we were friends before that record ever came out or anything. We'd known each other for like 3 years. So we shoot the music video at Campus Corner, which was a ton of fun. And then my dad ended up showing my aunt. And she's like, oh, he linked up with Corey. That's crazy. And my dad's like, Corey? And she's like, yeah, he's our cousin. So, like, turns out Scissor Hands was my family.
Oh, shit.
Family. So we're legitimate cousins.
Yeah.
Which was just wild because we've been knowing each other for like 3 years.
Oh, yeah. You didn't know.
And then that song exposed. We went down
you
a
wouldn't have
whole
known.
family tree
That's
thing
wild.
to figure it out. And we were like, holy crap, yeah, we're actually cousins. So it was pretty wild.
That's awesome. So then we come to last year. You had a lot last year. Was that you were saying you were busy? Or you've been busy? I know you've
been busy. I need to get busier this year.
Last year you had Lambo, which we talked about a little bit.
Ooh, oh, I'ma get a Lambo with this good times. Lambo,
Does it become more of a soul type of vibe? Which, like I said, that's probably my favorite of anything that you do.
And then like a little taste of hip hop in there with the rap part.
Right.
Because I had one dude who's a big songwriter, and he's like, it came out of nowhere in that record, but also fits so perfect. And I was like, yeah, that's kind of what I wanted. It was just discreet.
Yeah.
I don't want it to be like, here's the rap section.
It's very, just kind of chill.
Like, oh, he's switching it up.
But then you got some of these, I think, probably, because you hooked up with a guy, Gorilla Zoe, is that his name? Atlanta, and he did Dirty Gloves.
Clean hands, dirty gloves, what it is and what it was. All business, no love, never what it did, always what it does. I'm the chosen one, I don't never run, I don't never talk, I just get it done. Let them high stakes.
And you've done some other stuff with them too.
Yeah, Dirty Gloves and Can You with my dog Gorilla Zoe.
Both those are really that's what I want to see. I feel like you're branching out with these other artists too. It's incredible.
Yeah, so that came about. I mean, Gorilla Zoe is a literal living legend.
Like he's bigger.
Living legend. Like, you know, a few years back, obviously, when he had his big records popping off like Juice Box Hood Nigga, Lost, Lil Wayne in there. So I'm super grateful for that relationship. That relationship kind of came out of nowhere too. It was never planned. It was never orchestrated.
Did he discover you through your music somehow or something? Like
no,
that?
we got really linked up through Cutta Classic on that one. So they reached out to Cutta to produce Zoe's next records. And Cutta, knowing where I'm at skill-wise with writing, he's like, let me He's like, hey, they're coming to the studio, like, let's see how these vibes are.
Mm-hmm.
So I came in there. I'm always very quiet. I don't take pictures or like.
Yeah.
I'm just very
You're
me.
not. Yeah, you're not
Yeah,
in
I'm
there
just
like
here.
just.
And I'm telling anybody right now, like, that's the way to go.
Like people.
The loudest person in the room is.
They always
they
they try to be like whenever you get into an opportunity like that, you want to stand out somehow maybe, and they want to try to be.
Less is more. Less is more.
Yeah.
Because I was just quiet.
Yeah.
I was listening to what they were doing, you know, and I didn't. Once I got that access to be like, you know, I was quiet, and then Zoe asked me one thing, and I said, well, what if you And he was like, oh, you've been hiding out on us the whole time. And I was like, man, I'm just, you know, I'm quiet. Like, I'm just, I'm observing everything and just seeing what the vibe is. And then it bloomed into just such a beautiful friendship, you know, like, I mean, I ended up really hanging out with him a lot. You know, I know his whole family.
Nice.
I get along with his kids as well. Like, some of his kids are grown. One of his little daughters, she's absolutely adorable. But she was calling me Uncle Cage at one point, which I just thought was hilarious. But like, no, that relationship kind of, and given the music I was making at that time, and then you have literally Gorilla Zoe, most people would have been like, those two are a weird combo that shouldn't make sense, but when you see them together, makes a lot of sense.
The stuff you guys have done is like,
Dirty Gloves is so tight.
As far as it's good.
And that one's different because it feels different than the hip hop that's out right now. And then Can Use an absolute bop. I can get you by tonight. So yeah, I mean, we just toured for a little bit. Me and him have driven all across the country.
Nice.
So yeah, and it opened up my eyes to a lot of different things. Just moving around with him, figuring out how the game works on both sides. And it's so funny because I see a lot of things in the rock world, and I see a lot of things in the hip hop world that I'm like, I like and dislike. And I'm like, man, both ecosystems would benefit so much from each other.
So a little bit of this over here and a little bit of that.
Yes, like so much would benefit from each other if they just kind of merged how they did things.
That's cool. Yeah, because that's why I like doing the show, honestly, and like having people like. I don't think I had a lot of like hip hop or artists or anything like that yet. So I'm just always interested in talking to people about how they do things, because it's like there's something that you do that I can learn from, and
100%.
And that it's like has nothing to do with music, you know.
Yeah,
it's
I
just
mean
like,
that's a one thing I learned from Zoe is just, you know, his public. I don't want to say persona because it's not like he's putting it
right.
Like he's just very
public face.
Yeah, well, he's just very like genuinely friendly to everybody.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Well, obviously people try to push his buttons.
Right.
And that's not a wise thing to do. But like, you know, he's very just receptive to people and fans, and if he can see someone staring at him and they seem like a nervous to approach, he'll break that ice and be like, "Hey, what up?" And they're like, "Oh my gosh, I wanted to talk to you. I'm so nervous."
That's great.
He's like, dude, like it's all good.
I think that's how you that's the best way to be with people, especially
hands down. You can do the mysterious role for a little bit, which does good, you know.
Yeah, because some people like you gotta kind of have, I don't know. There's something that like some people respect that more, but like I think that more people respect just a kind person.
Yeah,
you know.
Well, and I mean part of the reason why, honestly, like growing up, why I wanted to be like famous and whatnot, to be honest, was I wanted to connect with as many people as possible, and just kind of. When you're a celebrity, you can kind of just be instant friends with people.
Yeah.
And I was like, I want that. Like,
I think
I want to be able to just walk into like a restaurant and people be like, holy shit.
Like,
and
no.
And then I can just be like, can I sit there?
Yeah.
And they're like,
yeah. Hang out. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like people want you to hang out with them.
Yeah.
I think
because then I can learn.
Right.
I can
you
it
kind of
opens up doors to learn more. Ultimately, it's just about the human experience.
Yeah.
Now I can sit down with these people and be like, "What do you do? What do you do? What do
You
you
can learn
do?"
about.
And then like tell me some life stories. And I'm like, damn, like that happened here on Earth. Like that's crazy.
Cool.
So I just really wanted to use it more so as a tool to connect with as many people as possible.
Yeah.
I have a very strange. That's part of my issue with like government and stuff. I don't like any of the governments around the world, really. I just don't like that. Like for example, like one of my biggest fears, to an extent, was growing up and living in the same town for your entire life and not seeing anything different.
For sure.
Terrified me. Like I have buddies back home in Ohio, and I'll go back up there, and I'm like, y'all doing the same stuff since high school. Like, wow, that's but I understand it at the same time because traveling has become so difficult. They've made it harder for you to afford to get out.
Right.
They've made it expensive to get out. And it's like, so I understand why some people are kind of like, how can I even do that?
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, I understand that. And I feel like we're getting robbed from our full human experience
for sure.
by a bunch of people that are in private jets and then saying it's our fault. And I'm like, that doesn't sit right with me, because I'm like, it should be, we should all be able to, if we want to, get on a plane.
Yeah, and just see.
And go see the world.
Something
it's
else.
every human's right.
I think it's,
every human has its human. No one has the right to take your rights to go see the world away. Who? Why? Oh, because we have. Oh, well, the government over there doesn't allow Americans over there.
Yeah.
Vice versa. I'm like,
be able to,
who gave them the power to control the literal Earth, mass, land? Like I don't.
When you really
I think
about
bigger
it.
picture. And I'm like, this is all delulu.
Like, there's no borders are all made up. It's,
all the borders are made up. And it's like, I get there's civil structure and this and that, but there's got to be a way to make the rest of the world more accessible
for
everybody.
Ultimately, too, I mean, we're going in that direction. I think that the world is opening up because of the internet. Mostly, we're more 100%. Connected now than we've ever been in our entire existence.
Yep.
And we're able to, even if you can't go to those places, luckily you can get on Google Earth and literally, see, maybe not in real life, but get an idea about literally anywhere in the world, just about,
True.
So it's like,
and get inspirational ideas to travel there,
right?
And things like
that. So
that.
it's kind of nice, but I think that you're right. Like going there and seeing new places, I think it's so important for everyone. And I think it's for mental health reasons too.
100%.
I think about something about it is just seeing something or experience something new that you've never experienced.
Dude, I went to Hawaii last year.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I saw some posts about you being.
Yeah, as a runway. I got asked to be a runway model.
Nice.
So that was a first.
That's
cool. They were like, "Hey, like, do you want to walk the runway? Like, we'll get you out here
in Hawaii.
Pay for you to get out there." I was like, "Yeah, I was actually right there."
Hell yeah.
Where that picture's at. I'm pretty sure that's the Devils. That looks like me. I saw that picture and I was like, dude, that literally because I taught myself how to surf out there.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
I went surfing once, and I went to Peru. Like it was probably 10 years ago almost, but
that's tight.
It was cool.
Peru
I loved it.
Super cool.
It was awesome. But we went surfing. I tried surfing for the first time, and I did it. I stood up on the board. It was incredible. Like briefly, not anything
Still
crazy.
hard, bro.
Yeah, no, it was incredibly hard. I was shocked that I was able to do anything. Yeah.
Because I skateboarded, snowboarded.
Yeah, exactly.
So I've always been really good at that. And I've done I've done the wakeboarding. I've done the wave riders or whatever, like at water parks where you're on there. I've done those.
But it's something.
But like
else.
the surfing was.
Because it's so much. I mean, that's not even like 90% of it is just literally fighting against the waves in the water and like trying to have any control of anything out there.
Dude,
it's insane.
I was out there for like 4 hours. I think I caught 4 waves.
Yeah.
Like, because we're trying to learn, you're wiping out constantly. Right. Then you're tired.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Because you're You're getting back out of the water, and then a wave crashes down on you, and you get up. My
Yeah.
GoPro got ripped off my chest
no.
rig.
Oh man, you
to
lost
the ocean,
it.
lost
Shit.
it. I was so pissed, dude.
But no,
Because I didn't even go
cool.
snorkeling yet, so I didn't even get to
Oh no.
get my underwater footage like I
Yeah.
wanted to. But things like that,
Yeah.
it's like you go out
yeah.
there. It damn near made me want to get rid of the entire rat race of like I had a dangerous thought of being like, I'm about to just move out here,
Stay.
get a regular 9 to 5,
Yeah.
a decent apartment,
Mhm.
surf party,
Just
surf
hang out.
and
Yeah,
party.
I mean, man.
Why not?
That's the part of, like I was saying earlier. It's like I want to go to LA or California or whatever, West Coast, just for the weather mostly. Just
Yeah.
because like you can be outside 24/7 and just
Yep.
be. I think that's another thing about what were we talking about skateboarding earlier was a big part of it is I think about this a lot, or just myself, right?
Mhm.
And like why it was important to me. But I think something about it was getting outside, just being outside is a
100%.
huge part of it. And I think it's such a
100%.
good thing for us to have any excuse to be outside.
Yeah, and that's a scary thing for this upcoming generation is,
Yeah, they're all stuck inside for
dude,
sure.
playing video games. They're not playing video
Mhm.
games. They're on TikTok
Right.
or whatever, and I love TikTok, so
Yeah.
I'm on there really
still,
badly right
like-
now. But I learned so much from TikTok. It feels a little different though ever since they came.
Yeah.
They did the ban and the unban. My
That's so
algorithm
weird.
My algorithm doesn't seem as gritty.
They
Man.
changed something.
Yeah, like I'm not getting any like the real
don't
world
know.
news right now.
I don't know. I've
Like,
never
I haven't
used
been-
it personally. Like I've, obviously know a lot about it and stuff and heard a lot
It's
about
the
it.
best
but
algorithm.
Yeah.
is my opinion.
I
'cause,
think,
like,
yeah.
when it shut down, I remember that night. I was like, well, I guess I'll try YouTube Shorts
You're
again.
Like, what
and
what
YouTube,
else?
they just kept playing me like movie clips,
Mhm.
and I was like, dude, I watched one. Like I don't. Okay.
Yeah, and then it just
Give me
gets
some
stuck on
news or
something for
something, like,
sure.
Yeah, and then I go to and then Instagram. I don't even
Yeah.
try.
Yeah.
I'll
it's-
post. Instagram is weird. I don't hate it. It's one of my. I understand its purpose.
Yeah.
But I think TikTok has probably
Mhm.
one of the better communities.
hmm
Funny, but you can also like legitimately.
Yeah, there's a lot of information
You can
there.
and you can break out as an artist off
Yeah.
TikTok. I'm like, I
Yeah.
don't care if call me a TikTok artist. Like I don't care.
Yeah.
I mean, think about the dude that had $1 Million Baby, great record.
Huh.
I ain't never done it. I don't know where his career's at now.
Right, but he had a
But
hit
like, hey,
off of that.
you had a massive hit. You still, I guarantee you, he built some
Yeah.
core fans.
Right. Yeah.
That can keep him afloat.
That's the thing. Yeah.
Might not be a superstar.
That's what I was,
I mean, it might be. I don't know. I don't keep up
I
enough.
was talking to one of my friends, a stand-up comic that I know, but he was telling me about a guy that got famous, TikTok famous during the pandemic. He was a mailman, and he would, or something, maybe, or delivery of some kind, but he would film himself every day, and he was funny, So but he blew up on TikTok now, and this is only like 5 years ago, less than that or something, and now he comes to like does these shows and can sell out a room like on a Sunday night doing stand-up comedy because of that fan base that he built.
Yep.
Like all of his fans come to see him and
Yep.
buy his tickets. So like that can be a huge way to support yourself if you can build up that.
And that's why I was a
something
little like,
to-
oh, I don't know where we're about to go. Because I was getting ready to, really start
Yeah.
posting a lot more. I get in my way sometimes. Like
Yeah.
if I'm not up at a certain time, or if I don't post at a certain time in the morning, I might not
Mhm.
post for the rest of that whole day.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I think I gotta just ixnay that entire thought process and just be like, just post whenever you want to. Like, who
Right.
cares? Just
Yeah.
post. Post it.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm bad about that too myself. I was just thinking about like even with my podcast and stuff. It's like I need to start doing more clip outs and stuff like that, and post, especially
Yeah.
on TikTok and stuff like that, because that's how you can bring in more people.
Oh, yeah, you got
And
to.
it's like,
You
that's
literally
something
have
that
to.
would
There's
help.
podcasts I wouldn't have no idea
Right.
existed if it wasn't for TikTok.
Yeah, just little clips.
and
it's like,
there's
oh,
a
what
lot
is
of people
this?
that blow up,
Mm-hmm.
and I mean a lot of comedians and a lot of comedians we would not have if it was not for TikTok
Yeah.
and social media and the way they shoot these and post these clips.
Yeah.
And then I mean there's a lot of Twitch streamers that
Yeah.
they're like, oh, I
That's
wouldn't have blew
also
up without
huge.
TikTok
Yeah.
clips.
That's what I've heard too. Is like TikTok usually is how people discover new content creators, whatever they are,
and then it funnels
and then
them
they go
into.
to Twitch or YouTube or
Yeah.
wherever they mainly go.
You might see a clip of like a queso
Mhm.
Twitch stream on
Yeah.
TikTok and be like, "Who is this dude?" And then, but it was hilarious. And then
Yeah.
you're like, "Oh, let me go check out his
Yeah,
actual
whatever
stream."
it is, for sure.
So I get it. It's a valuable tool. You know, I still want to get down to that groundwork level, boots on the ground.
Mm-hmm.
I really want to go on a tour this year, even if it's just a week.
Mm-hmm.
Would be really fun to do.
Yeah.
I don't know. I really need to get out to the West Coast.
Yeah.
Honestly, I've never been to LA,
Mhm.
which drives me up a fucking wall.
Have you spent more time? Obviously, you grew up in Ohio, so like more. Have you been to East Coast and done stuff out there?
I still
a
have
lot?
never been to New York though. Either.
Yeah, I've never been to New York. I've been
I've
to LA.
landed in New York and LaGuardia, but that was it. But I've been to like DC.
Mm-hmm.
I like Washington DC, but I don't in the same very breath. It's just got a weird energy about it, man.
I bet.
There's just a bunch of like, I'm like, something's dark here. I don't know what it is. Just something's not right.
Mm-hmm.
And you don't know who's a Fed and who's not.
Right, yeah.
Because we were in Virginia when I was hanging out with Zoe. We were out in like Reston, Virginia, which is, I didn't think it was that gorgeous.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, dude, screw getting a summer house in Ohio.
Yeah.
Just get a summer house in Virginia. And if I want to go to Ohio, I'll drive up.
Mm-hmm.
But it was so clean and
Yeah.
it was just beautiful
well
out
taken
there.
care of. That's nice.
But yeah, I mean, the West Coast is just like I haven't been to Colorado yet.
Yeah, Colorado, Denver is awesome. It's like I said, my sister lives there.
Yeah,
it's a cool city. It's huge, big city.
I need to do that. I need to get. So I'd probably do a West Coast tour, and then maybe try to follow it up with like an East Coast tour and go back home to Ohio for a little bit. Go do a show in Ohio. I think that would be a lot of fun.
Yeah. I wanted to ask you a couple more kind of big things I wanted to bring up. But one thing, because that was a great, for sure, like social media is always a huge like marketing thing that I always like to talk to other people, artists about. So that was awesome to hear about. But going along those lines is if you go to, what's your website, the actual website?
CageTheBeast.com.
Yeah, it's mostly you just selling merch on there, which I love.
That's all it is for, really.
Because like I've heard, I mean, do you sell a lot? Does it do pretty well?
It does. It does what it needs to.
Yeah, does something.
It's legitimately helped the brand get out to people.
That's a big thing. Yeah, because I like the logo. I wanted to ask you about the logo, like
the new one. That's the word cage. Or the mustache
yeah, because there's the original one, which is
the face.
The
that's
head
kind of like that's like.
I've always liked that logo because it's just a cool, like, obviously representation of you, right? So
but it's like I like it because it was like mysterious. To
yeah.
Like you eventually people will see that and be like, I know who that is. And then Cage, I was like, I need one that
the new one. Yeah, that's the Metallica. Yeah, I like that.
Metallic Cage is what I called it.
I like that.
Shout out to the Barbie movie.
Is that where you got it?
Bro,
idea?
Who would have... I wanted to go see Oppenheimer. The girl I was dating at the time was like, I want to see Barbie. And I was like...
Did y'all do the double feature? Did you see
No, I ended up seeing Oppenheimer like way later. Like way later.
You folded,
went, saw Barbie, which actually...
Yeah. They were both good. I actually did the double feature. That one, for whatever reason, like, I don't know. I heard about people talk about it. I was
it's fun because
I wanted to see
such
both
a drastic switch up of film. So I think that would be actually really fun to do.
I liked it, but
well, Barbie was like amazing set design, amazing cinematography. They had some shots and scenes and like sets going on there. I was like, yo, that was probably such a fun film to work on. I would be in there for sure. I would have loved to work on that film. But yeah, when Ken had his fanny pack,
was that
these got the letters Ken and the Metallica, and I looked at it and I was like, son, I can make that. And so I went home and opened up Adobe and started figuring it out. Now I love that Cage logo. It's like people are like, dude, that's
the new.
And it fits my attitude pretty well.
Right.
It's an aggressive, but so I have that merch, and then the website was primarily because nowadays your social media is your website.
Yeah.
If
yeah.
you get people to your website, that's a diehard fan, and they're gonna buy merch. So let me make sure. And I just wanted to have it ready.
Right. Yeah.
Because it's like, okay,
Just
say I
there.
blow up tomorrow,
Mm-hmm.
and people are like, "What? Where can I get merch?"
Mm-hmm.
There, it's there. It's
Mhm.
already ready. All the and then I can add to it.
Right.
But it's not like, oh, I blew up. Now I'm scrambling for a month
trying to figure out
trying to
everything.
build merch and edit
Mhm.
this and edit that. Now it's like I'm prepared for it to blow
Mhm.
up.
Mhm.
And then boom, blows up. Now everybody can funnel to my website. And I wanted it. I mean, I was doing sales and stuff before, so I understand the urgency of less action. Like they should be able to get to the shirt they want in 3 clicks.
Yeah.
Type deal.
That
Click,
is, I
click,
was gonna say the website's really nice. It just looks great.
simple.
Yeah.
But
it's all
but it's organized. Like that's
'cause
what
it's
I
like
wanted.
you've got some music. I mean, obviously you got a section for the videos and stuff like
Yeah,
that.
which I
music
need to. I
videos.
do need to go
But
and
it's
upload
like,
more to it. But primarily,
yeah.
that's a merch store.
I would say the only thing that I was kind of missing from it, just from me, because I like websites, only mainly for like information and stuff like that. So it's like a bio and stuff like that, right? Which
I
that's
probably
kind of
should do. Should do either like a contact or an about me section on that.
But
I've thought about
that was other
approaching
than
that
would
a little
be-
bit heavier on that side of
Yeah.
things, as far as like, okay, let me build like a
kind of EPK,
like a
for
contact.
media.
Yeah, well, I actually do have a really good EPK. I
Okay.
do need to go to that website.
That's why I probably should have
and
asked
put
you
a
for
link.
that for me, just because like I need to start asking for people for that information.
Like if they have,
for,
yeah, I
for
totally
me
get it.
for my research or whatever,
Mhm.
right? So it's like that's the only thing I was. But
Yeah,
I
I do
forgot.
need
But
to
like
do that.
I should have just asked you for your EPK because that would have been helpful.
I do need to go ahead and add a contact EPK. I also need to
But,
figure
yeah,
out a way to do a
it's-
donate button, because
Yeah.
I once had a fan donate me $500, and it literally couldn't have came at a better
Oh
time.
yeah, that's nice.
Like I was needing it,
Mhm.
and then one day I looked at my Squarespace, and this was when I was on Squarespace before I
Yeah.
was on Shopify,
Mhm.
and I looked and I was like, 500 donation. I was like, wait, what? This got to be like an error or something. So I tried to like reach out to the person, like, did you mean to donate me
Yeah.
50? Like, are you sure? They're like, no,
That's
it was all
awesome.
for
That's
you.
great.
And it was like, you have no idea how much that helped me out. Because I mean, yeah, that's
Yeah.
the thing with music is we know how much it's gonna cost, so we have no
Mhm.
idea how much the profit's actually gonna be.
Yeah, I mean,
And
it's usually like I've never made any money off of music. Honestly, it's like
Besides, like,
as
a lot-
far as
yeah.
like, I mean, even if you make money, you've spent way more than that,
Way
and
more.
you know,
Way
so
more.
it's you're always.
I mean,
gonna
that's why
be
I'm
in
lucky
the
too.
hole.
Like with like the Zoe stuff,
yeah,
we split.
yeah,
Mostly every song that we worked on together, it's all split
Mhm.
pretty much down the middle. So I do get some good royalties.
nice. So you can make a little bit for there.
Yeah,
Mhm.
well, I need to, because I mean, you're getting my songwriting and
Yeah.
ideas
Oh, yeah.
and vocal production
for
stuff.
sure.
So
You
it
did
was
the work.
a good team based
Mhm.
effort on that. So like that stuff kind of helps. And then I mean, I've had what was that? Movie was that? For the Love of Money. Had a sync licensing deal and
Mm.
that. So that one's got me paid decently because
Yeah.
it was on Stars, HBO.
Okay, yeah.
It was in like movie theaters and stuff. We
Mhm.
did, Flick's Brew House.
Yeah.
We had the red carpet event there.
Nice.
The whole theater was rented out,
Uh-huh.
and then they showed the movie and every there. So that had like Cat Williams, DC Young Fly, Carrie Hilson, a couple other big people. But that song I never even released. Like it's not even out. The song that's in the movie.
It's
and it's the
in
entire
there.
credits of
Yeah.
the movie. It's in the
Mhm.
middle. It's in
Yeah,
the
it's like a
entire
little-
credits, and then it was used for their trailer.
Okay.
So-
yeah, that's awesome.
I get paid off that. If it gets a good bump on Stars,
Mhm.
I get D's, like nothing crazy.
Something.
But like
yeah.
sync licensing is what I need to lean
Uh,
into way more, and just
Mhm.
either find a sync agent and give them good music. I don't know. That whole door will open up. But if you want to make more money as a musician,
Mhm.
sync licensing is the bread,
Hmm.
hands down. There's
Yeah.
no, besides merch,
Right.
which is why I have a
That's-
merch set up.
That's what I was gonna say. I love the merch because, like, especially with
It's
like
the
content
way.
creators, right? Like, if
Mhm.
you're any type of content creator online, that's something that like nobody really thinks about. I mean, if you have a following for sure, you can make like it was something about like it was a streamer like Ninja, I think like
Mm-hmm.
that or somebody one time that it was him or someone one of those big guys that was like they're not actually a Twitch streamer, they're like a hat salesman.
Yep.
That's their real job. They're a hoodie
Yes.
salesman because that's like the majority of their money comes from
Yeah,
like
I mean
merch.
that's how like like Tech9.
Yeah.
He's richer
Yeah.
than everybody. But a lot of it has to do with like
Yeah,
incredible merch
just
sales.
cool clothes and things
Yep.
people can buy to support because
And that was like that was the whole point of when I did the first Cage logo was like let me just
to
make
get
like
something cool that people like.
just cool,
yeah.
just an emblem that like
Mhm.
represents
Yeah.
something without it having to say like a name necessarily.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Nice.
I need to promote the merch more.
Mm-hmm.
I still have I mean, I know people are going through it financially wise. I think
Right.
everybody
That's
is. So that's a little bit tough because it's like,
yeah. Yeah,
Oh.
that's the thing is like when I grew up or playing bands for the past 15 years or so, it's like you always wanted the shirts, but it's like
yeah,
you would buy shirts and then you would have to sit on them for a year just trying to sell them at shows, and it's like because it's hard getting
Yep.
people to even give you $10 or $15 because
Yep.
it's it's a big ask more
it's
so
a big
than
ass nowadays too. Right
Yeah.
now, just really right now, and we'll see what happens
Yeah.
in this coming year, and if money
mm-hmm.
seems to flow a bit easier for
Yeah,
everybody
maybe
else.
it'll be better.
Because
yeah.
I'll be like I'll promote the
Yeah, try
the
to push
stuff, and I'll
that
be like
more. Because you want to try to devote your energy to something that's more meaningful or more like impactful, right? It's like
yeah,
if
I'd
you,
rather you like
if
buy
you
my
push
merch.
if you
off
push your
of-
merch a lot and nobody has the money for it, you're just wasting your energy, right?
yeah, and it's like I'd rather people just find it naturally and just be like,
But yeah,
I like Cage. I wonder if he has merch.
yeah,
And
I just
then go
like that
find it.
because I'm used to do T-shirts or work in a print shop, so it's
Uh-huh.
like I'm a graphic artist, so it's like I just always love merch.
Yeah, if I do some more shows,
yeah.
which I haven't done a show kind of in a while.
Yeah, I remember. Well, I saw you play going back to skateboarding thing. You were at the Plaza thing. That was like still like
Was that
months ago, but
that was the
Plaza.
plaza? Yeah, that's when
Yeah.
we were in the plaza.
Yeah, and you
Yeah,
had played there.
that was rough. That was a rough.
Yeah, because it was
one.
raining. Yeah,
It started raining during my
Mhm.
set. The sound system was
yeah.
not great, which it's part of the gig.
Yeah.
It happens. Any upcoming
But
artists
had you had
I've
any?
played on shittier sound systems. I can
Yeah.
tell you that.
Had you had any shows since then?
I
sure.
definitely did. I
Yeah.
did. Was that okay?
I
No,
think
because
that was like
the summer showdown. That was at Resonant Head.
Mm.
There was one in the plaza.
Mm-hmm.
That was like live on the plaza. I performed that.
Yeah.
Did that show. That was a great time. And then did the show at Resonant Head,
Mm-hmm.
which I like that venue. It's a cool venue.
Yeah, it's awesome.
And then what did I do? I think it was besides the stuff me and Zoe did on the road.
Mhm.
But yeah, it was Skate the Plaza, and then I did the Uptown on 23rd.
Yeah.
That was probably one of my favorite shows of all time.
Oh, really?
Because just
That's
because
cool.
of
Big crowd.
well, it was more so like, because I've performed in arenas, so I'm
Yeah.
like I've done 10,000
big,
at
big
least.
shows,
Yeah,
huh?
I did 10,000 at the American, what is it? American Bank Arena in
Uh-huh.
Corpus Christi.
Okay.
That was a great experience, which definitely has me itching for more. But this
How do you get back to
particular
that?
show was so culturally skateboarding.
Right.
It was unplanned by the actual organization that was
Mhm.
putting on the Uptown on
Okay.
23rd.
Mm-hmm.
And I had skateboarders jumping over me
Oh,
while I'm
shit.
in the back of a
That's
truck.
awesome.
Because, they had a truck and a ramp,
Mm-hmm.
and you would jump the truck bed.
Mm-hmm.
And, so I was like, well, I'm going to perform in the truck
Yeah.
and have them jump over me.
Nice.
And the pictures are just
Yeah.
insane. Like, one of them, I'm literally, like, skim my buddy's wheel on
Oh
purpose.
shit.
And, like, you can see
What?
my hand, like, right there. But, yeah, I mean, they're over me while I'm rapping. And so it just
That's
people
awesome.
like people are watching everything. I'm on top of the hood
Mhm.
while they're skating and I'm playing guitar, and then like the show just progressed like I naturally do on my shows.
It's just fun.
And that one was just
fun, like interesting, like stage that you got to perform on.
Yeah, one of the DJs there, he was like, "This was my favorite show."
Because I remember the Skate the Plaza thing in general, like any of these kind of skate events, that one, it's just because that was the second year I think they did it, and like it's just wild because like when I was growing up skateboarding, like that would be like a dream to be able to attend and hang out at. It's like that was not a thing back then. It's like now it's just
it's so funny. Well, when I go there, I'm like, I'm not getting that gnarly.
Right.
I'm like, I told Todd money ruins everything, and I was like, man, y'all gotta give me like a little small section or something for me to feel like, let me just skate this box because I'm not jumping over this damn car.
Yeah, they had some. It's wild. So
I I popped up and rode the trunk of the car.
Okay.
But like literally first attempt nearly face planted straight into the ramp. Like it was I was like, oh, that's not good. I don't know if I'll do it. If they ask me again this year, I don't know if I'll do it. It kind of depends.
Yeah.
That's my second year doing it. As far as Skate the Plaza. And I'm just like, I don't know. I wish it would just have like one thing of music.
Yeah.
Because what happens is like you have like hip hop way down at Bad Granny's, and then the punk rock stuff is going on.
Like maybe one bigger stage somewhere else.
Oh yeah, it's going outside in front of Dig It, and I'm like, well, why not just do less performance acts on this side and just make the music more integral? For everybody, like just let the punk rock bands go, and then let another artist go.
At this, have like one stage or something.
Yeah, just one stage, but more selected acts.
Yeah, I think that would be cool.
Because man, I kind of get tired of that.
Because it's like, well, I remember because I was at your performance at that, so like it was just it had cleared out a lot, but it was like I said,
it was just weird timing.
It was just not good.
It was just not a. I was not.
Not good positioning for you.
It's not a good positioning. As far as like the actual set. And I brought like the miniature stage for the other artists. I brought the more speakers for us. And then it started raining. It was a weird vibe. Like organization wise. And I don't know. I get stuck in between those lanes of an artist and be like, hey, just do it. You're at least getting your chops up. This and that, but then part of me is also like, dude, I've been down this road. I've done this style of show, and then I've seen other shows that I've done, and being like, that's my mark as far as like what I'm kind of willing to accept right now. So but like obviously with Money Ruins Everything, when he hit me up, I was like, that's the homie. I love that skate shop. So I was like, that sounds fun. I was like, you don't gotta pay me.
It's a cool event, so hopefully, and it just seems like it does well. So I mean, obviously they're gonna keep doing it, and I can't wait to go back this year.
And I mean, Skate the Plaza, like if they do it this time, I don't know. Part of me kind of want to just enjoy the skateboarding.
Just
because I don't skate hard because I'm like, I have to perform in like an hour and a half.
Then you
so I'm on damage control.
You don't want to wear yourself out. And all that.
But then I'm like, I want to skate. And so I'm like,
maybe,
how can I do
this? You'll just go and hang out.
I was like, maybe this year I just go hang out.
There's a couple of things. One thing that I saw recently that really maybe like go like I gotta get this guy on the podcast because you started playing the national anthem at the baseball game, and then the OKC Blue games.
So like I've done that twice.
So how did that come about? Because did you just do one of the baseball games?
So
it was like on the dugout or something, or in the dugout.
That was the baseball. I gotta stop being so damn hard on myself because
it was cool.
I'll be like,
thing.
What am I doing? And I'm like, oh wait, I played on top of dugouts. At a baseball game. Like that just sounds. It's just
wild,
cool. So back to Scissorhands.
Okay.
He hit me with the idea. He's like, you know what you gotta do? Like you gotta learn the national anthem. And I was like, no.
You're like, hell no. You're like, that sounds like some government shit.
Right? I'm like, I don't want to do that. And then I was like, all right, you know what? Let me do it. So I learned it. And because he had the idea, he's like, dude, he's like, you learn that, we'll get you into like figure out a way to get you into like do for the Thunder, stuff like that. And I was like, yeah, that does open up some doors. So I learned it. I posted it on 4th of July.
Yeah.
Like just me, I just recorded and videoed myself playing it at Castle Row.
Okay. Yeah.
And then I built an EPK specifically for that
to focus
to ship out to people. And I reached out to the ballpark because I was like, why not? And yeah, he hit me back up and was like, dude, that's literally perfect.
Yeah.
Like, when can you can you do it? We'd love to have you come play. And I was like, oh, snap. All right. So then, yeah, we did the national anthem at the ballpark. The same sound guy there, who's a buddy who was actually an intern at Castle Row, he became the sound guy for the Thunder as well.
Okay.
So he was like, I'll say something to the Thunder people. And then Kid Lennon hit me up to play Thunder Fan Fest.
Okay.
And he wanted me to play guitar during his set. And he was like, well, the Thunder people asked if you can play Thunderstruck on guitar as well. So I had to learn like 3 songs in like a week. It was ridiculous. It was crazy. I had to learn his 2 songs and then Thunderstruck.
Yeah.
And it worked out really, really well. Like it was a lot of fun. But that opened up the door to more relationships with the people that run the Thunder. And then basically my rule was like, I needed to do the national anthem at least like 5 times a day. I just would wake up, coffee, play it 5 times real quick, just have it here. And then it was funny because like the week I took off, or I just wasn't doing it, everything was busy, I just didn't pick it up.
Yeah.
And then I remember like going to sleep and they text me and they're like, hey, can you do the Blue game tomorrow at 1? And I was like, well, I can't say no.
Yeah.
I literally could not say
like,
no.
I gotta play it 100 times before that.
That's basically what I did. Yeah, I just was like, okay, everything's done. Like, I'm playing this down to the ground. And then I did that, and people were like, yo, that was awesome. Like, that was incredible. We've never had anybody do that like that before. And so then that was on December 10th. And then they called me back for January 2nd to do it.
Yeah.
And then now I'm just waiting on the Thunder.
Yeah.
Thunder. Like, so it may be this season, it may be next. It would be wise of them, Thunder. It'd be very wise of them for me to do it this year.
Yeah, I mean, they're doing great.
They're doing great.
Yeah,
I'm
incredible.
like, I will say as a performer, like, salute to anyone that's even attempted to do the national anthem. Because the true honest, like, I get nervous before live shows, but like a healthy nervous.
Normal.
Like, it's more so just excitement.
Yeah,
like extreme
You're just
excitement.
ready. You're just like, I want to do it.
And it's my records. I don't even care if I mess up on stage because y'all ain't gonna know it half the time. It's like whatever. We're just having fun.
Right.
National anthem.
Yeah, you have to kind of be.
You gotta be locked in.
That's like you see, like these famous singers are like really big, really, really good singers doing stuff like that, singing it and like the ball games and stuff. And it's like they're just putting their everything into it and just doing the best they can. People love that because it's the freaking.
It's just the pressure is so real.
But yeah,
I
like
always
you have
say it's
to be.
I can mess up my
in.
songs. I can't mess up America's
for sure.
And it's like and it's so funny because it's just like it's only 1:30.
Yeah. Pretty quick.
If I play the Thunder people make me play it very quick. Usually I'd stretch it out, slow it down a little bit, feel it. I think the ballpark I did like 1:45, which is more comfortable.
Yeah.
Because I can really kind of dig into it. But the 1:35 faster version works as well. But that the amount of pressure that is actually on that because you can't mess up. Sound check can go great, but in the moment that's all that matters.
It's like you miss one note.
You miss one note.
Like you're never doing it again. That's
You miss one note and you're like, all right, well that was fun while it lasted because that one will probably last forever.
Yeah.
And so,
or you become a meme on the internet. That's even worse,
dude. Yeah, and you're like, all right, it's gonna work. But I was like, you know what?
You become nationally famous for
the long. So I definitely. I will continue to do it Because I like putting, like, I love I love America.
It's great for the exposure, man. It's like, man, you get in
and
front
I could
of
go do football games now.
Yeah,
like
you do
it's just
anything,
another
yeah.
thing that puts me into the realm because I think I'm gonna reach out to the Sooners and try to do it for the spring game. That's a lot of people. That's 75,000 stadiums. Are no joke. You got the arenas tight, stadium.
Damn.
So it's like, but I don't really get.
But yeah,
I don't
hopefully
really get
by
nervous
the time
about
you
that.
get to that point, you'll be have done it enough.
Pretty
where
accustomed
it's-
to it to where I mean I kind of feel like I'm already there right
Yeah.
now. Like if they ask me to do another Thunder Blue game, I'll do it just 'cause it's good practice and it's
But
it's
like-
still fun. Like I love going to the games. My first one that wasn't that big of a crowd, it was decent, and I was like, oh, okay, like that's cool. I'm still getting to hear myself, and I can still say I performed at the Paycom Center twice. So that's tight.
sure.
But the second time, like much bigger crowd. That I was like, oh hell yeah, like, let's fucking go.
That's awesome. Yeah.
And then people saw it and they were like, dude, that was
That's
so
cool.
badass.
Really,
And
definitely.
I think, I mean, shit, if Trump would ask me to do it as an inauguration, I would have done it. I had thoughts about it. I was like, dang, I need to find some VC and shit. I think.
Speaking of a little bit along those lines, anyways, because you performed for the mayor too.
Oh
fairly
yeah,
recently, right?
Yeah, for
was that tied into any of that at all? Like, was that
how
like?
did I find?
Because I remember, I feel like the baseball thing was around that time. As
that is kind of crazy.
mayor.
it's super around that time, and it's
I
exactly
saw it
what
like
happened.
fairly recently.
Yeah, one of the guys, I think he's like a sportscaster. God, I can't remember his name right now.
Is he like on the Sports Animal?
He's
or
like
something
Sports
that?
Tunes.
Yeah, one of those.
Is what I think his Instagram. I think is that.
Oh, okay.
But he saw me do the anthem,
Mm-hmm.
and then he hit me up on Instagram
Mm-hmm.
and was like, "Hey, loved your da 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 da. Seen some of your other music. We do this thing at Mayor Holt's office. It's like a tiny desk.
Yeah.
Like
That-
we'd love to have you come play a couple records." And I was
has
like,
there been other
yeah.
artists and stuff? I'm sure. Is this like
I've
a
done
normal?
that.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah, you've got like JB's done it.
Okay. I've probably seen that too.
Who else has done? There's a couple.
That's awesome though. So they reached out to you about
Reed Southhall did it.
yeah.
So yeah, they reached out and was like, it's basically Tiny Desk
Right.
Oklahoma.
But you just performed for the mayor and what did they do a video and stuff too?
Yeah,
I guess
video. They could probably upgrade their sound,
Okay.
how they do things a little bit. But I get what they're going for. It's very natural, room captured acoustics type deal. And then it's just a small audience in front of you.
Yeah.
It'll be like the staff of that day.
Like in the
just
what
come
is it?
come watch you do a personal show, and the mayor's right there, which Mayor Holt's cool as far as like.
That's why I was excited about that too. Is that it's like I don't know. We got to interview him somehow for the YouTube.
Hey, yeah,
channel. I don't know. I really want to. I would love to have a podcast. I would say I want a podcast with him, but like that probably won't happen. But like as far as just interview somehow, like at a thing, I don't know. We'll figure it
But
out.
you never know.
I think it'd
Podcast
be
could
cool.
definitely happen.
Maybe.
Yeah, he was
Be
really
sick.
cool. He was a really cool dude as far as like talking with him and
Yeah.
just meeting him and even just putting that on for artists.
Yeah.
Like you don't have to do that.
That's really cool.
That's
like,
it's a good look for an
Mhm.
artist. And it was just really cool. And and
Yeah.
I think he's still kind of pretty sure he follows me on Instagram. So I
Nice.
still
Yeah.
like will hit him. I'll hit him because I sent him like the Sooners record and stuff.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Oh yeah, like da 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 da," and then he knows Scissorhands, which is funny because
Yeah.
I texted Holt that on Instagram. I was like, "Yo, that's actually my cousin." LOL, and he's like,
Yeah.
"Oh really? Like
That's
that's
funny.
wild." So yeah, I gotta stop being so damn hard on myself and understand.
Yeah,
like,
you've
I've done
a
some
lot.
great,
You've done some cool stuff.
done some
That's-
very cool
like
stuff.
I said,
'cause-
I've been watching you since I've met you years ago, and it's like seeing your progression of everything that you're doing.
it
and
really
it's,
has.
like,
I think it's
been
gotta
really cool.
pop. It's gotta
Yeah.
pop. It's
I
gotta
just- yeah.
pop.
I mean, you just gotta keep at it, and like I think you have the passion for it. Obviously, I don't think you're gonna stop.
I know,
if
but
you
man, I'll
don't
tell you
make
what.
it,
Like
so
this.
hopefully
That's
not.
why I think I got so hard on myself this year.
Yeah,
Cause not that the passion was like dying.
yeah. But it
I
starts
just got
to get
fucking tired.
right. Yeah,
I just got burned out.
Especially when you're not seeing progress that you want to see. I think.
Yeah, and then you have on TikTok and you see
Yeah.
some chick sitting on her bed singing some bullshit song, and then it's
Yeah,
like
they pop off.
500,000 likes. And then, you know, some stupid record
Yeah.
label is going to be like, hey, we'll
Yeah,
sign you.
exactly.
And then you're going like, Doc, I'm sitting here, a label's wet dream.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Yeah, he's like, you've
I
got
can do everything for you.
You've got everything lined out.
Yeah. And I'm like, I'm already, I
Yeah.
don't even know if I necessarily need y'all right now.
Yeah, exactly.
But what I would not mind, I don't know, I wouldn't mind a machine working for me for a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Just have some
Yeah.
backing. Allow me to
Mm-hmm.
breathe for a second
Yeah.
and focus
Not
on
have to
just
do,
the art.
'Cause that's the thing is like I think we all get burned out on being the whole record label yourself
Yes.
and doing all these jobs that different people are traditionally.
Yeah, it's like I'm spending more time trying to figure out how to be a booking agent than I
Right.
am making my music.
Right. Yeah.
And I'm like, this is, and then it's like, yeah, and then everything comes back to, I mean, that was my thing with like working a regular job. It's so soul sucking.
Yeah, it takes
And
so much
then-
energy. That's
Yeah.
like where I'm at right now, where it's like I don't really even have a job right now. I'm like doing
Same.
DoorDash and
Same,
like,
that's what I'm on.
No
Just
shit.
I'm on the side of
and like,
like,
but you
making
make
music.
Yeah, you make what you can here, but then you make up the rest in this other thing. But it's like you got to find whatever that thing is that it doesn't take up as much time and energy that you need for this thing that you really care about. That's the trick, I
Yes.
think.
That really is kind of where I'm like, I don't know. I've had like this weird thing where I've got like potential places I can go and work, so to speak. That would be pretty cool.
Yeah,
But I have this
but it's
weird like nagging voice in the back of my head that says like, no, not yet.
Yeah.
Just be a little more patient, because it's like I know I just want to do music full time.
Yeah,
you know
you
what
got
I'm
to figure
saying?
out
From
however you can make that
playing
happen.
shows and making
Yeah.
music and this and that. But also I understand that it can take money.
Mm-hmm.
And it's
Like,
like, well,
what
if
do
I ain't
you-
got money to pay my bills, and
Right.
sure ain't got money
Like
to market
that's-
music.
Yeah, for sure.
And so like that's been a rough battle.
Mhm.
I think that's why I've been so down this
Yeah, lately.
end half of the year.
Yeah.
Even though I was still
Well,
doing
it's-
cool shit,
Yeah.
it was so weird. I'd like I'd be like, I mean, yeah, I went to Hawaii, which was awesome,
Mhm.
and I went for free as I'm like,
Mhm.
so can't really
Yeah.
complain at all. But yeah, and I did the national anthem twice, and I performed
I
on
think-
top of the dugouts, and so I need to
Yeah.
like do like an end of year
Yeah.
look back and
Yeah.
being like, I
think
mean,
that's-
honestly, this past year was crazy. I mean,
Yeah.
I was in Atlanta in January of last
Mhm.
year. Like I think I traveled more spots last year than
Mhm.
I have my entire life.
Yeah, in 1 year,
Yeah,
for sure.
like one run we did, me and Zoe, we went from Oklahoma to a show in Ohio, did a show in Ohio, woke up, drove from freaking Ohio to Miami.
Damn.
It's like 19 hours.
Yeah.
Then we're in Miami for literally a night.
Damn.
It was a very spoiled night. I
Yeah.
would say my first experience in Miami was very like, yeah, this is my standard now. Like, I don't want to come back
Yeah,
unless
it's
I'm rocking like,
this is-
because we ended up meeting up with Flowrider.
Uh-huh.
And so we got linked up with his crew, went to his club, one of his smaller ones. That was a great time. The singer Money Long came, performed. She was great. So that was like a good time. And then we ended up going to Club Live, which is like the big club down there.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember we got escorted underneath the club. It felt like where we were at looked like the back of an arena. Like I was like, "Hey, it looks like we're about to go do an arena show."
Mhm.
And then they literally took us back to the section. So
Yeah.
we skipped the whole club,
Damn.
go to our section, and then Killer Mike had just won his Grammys. So he's in the section next to us.
What?
So I'm like, oh, this is like popping. And so I was like, yeah, I was very spoiled for my
Yeah.
first time in Miami. And so I'm like, I got to go back.
Yeah.
It's hard to want to go back and
Well, it's
not be on that
it's-
level
yeah,
of like,
it's like what's gonna top
dang.
that for sure.
Yeah, it was like, all right, so I got to
Anyways.
go back with more power
But
and
no,
just
I think it's,
more moves.
man, I feel like you're on a path towards that. I feel like where you want to be, because obviously like you're already linking up with people that have those bigger connections
Yeah.
to those big artists. So it's like if you keep on with that, with what you're
It's
doing.
just, I think for me, it's just like probably have to get a little bit out of my own way of,
Mhm.
well, I just not giving a damn what people think.
Yeah.
which I normally don't.
Mm-hmm.
But I'd be lying to say that whisper doesn't pop in the head 100%. So I've been, shout out Mel Robbins, because she has a thing that she says is like, let them and let me. Let them think whatever they want, and let me think whatever I think. Because I think as an enigma of the music that I do, people have a hard time figuring out, where do I place you?
Yeah.
Do I market you as a rapper?
Right.
Do I market you as a singer-songwriter? And I'm looking for people that are like, no, you market me as it all.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean,
I want my... Because, like, when I did Norman Music Fest 2023, that show was insane.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Were you on one of the bigger stage?
Yeah, I was on the West stage
must have
by the
been...
railroad track and the Ferris wheel.
Okay.
So...
Yeah, that one.
Not to shit on any artists that were before me, there was decent-sized crowds of people before I got on. Like 200 people kind of out front. Like you would, any artist would be like, that was a great show. That was awesome. That was fun. Bro, by the time I was finished, there had to be like 2,000 to 3,000 people in that street.
Yeah.
I'm talking from the stage to the buildings, all the way from the West Stage to the railroad tracks were people watching. Like, I have the video on my Instagram. If anyone doesn't believe me, you'll see me do this and show the whole crowd. And they're
because I believe it. I mean, I was out there last year. I definitely was out there on 2023. I don't know. I definitely didn't.
Yeah, we got nixed on 2024 because of the tornado.
That's right.
Yeah.
But both years, even because I was there was it Thursday and Friday, and they canceled Saturday last year? Was that what it was?
Yep.
So I was there both days.
I got asked to do Friday too, and I told them no. I said no, I want Saturday.
Oh, so you were supposed to.
I was like, y'all saw what I did last year. Like, quit playing with me. Quit playing with me. Put me on main stage this year if you're smart.
Yeah, I can't wait for it this year. But but every year it's so packed. It's like that every year now. It's like the fair.
I actually
kind of like it's like that many people.
I think I kind of like Norman Music Fest more than I like South by.
Oh yeah,
to be honest.
Well, it's probably like more contained, or it's like Norman is just
more stages
street,
though. It felt like South by. It just wasn't what I was expecting.
Yeah. I've never been there. I always wanted to go.
It's fun. But like a lot of the main venues are like in a bar or into this or this or that.
It's not like a festival feeling. Maybe.
Yeah, it doesn't give full fest like Norman Music Fest feels like South by, but with outdoor stages that can garner some massive crowds.
Yeah.
So where it's almost like Rolling Loud meets South by Southwest. And I know they have big shows at South by Southwest inside like a couple theaters and this and that. But like a lot of the shit does feel like a pretty backyard-ish. Nothing majorly crazy. But yeah, like the Norman Music Fest show, for me, that was a big eye-opener as far as what I was capable of doing. Because I not only did people knew me, but not everyone in that crowd knew who I was. They just saw, stage presence. With I got mannequins.
Yeah.
Or naked mannequins on stage. My mic stand is covered in roses.
Yeah.
So like there's theatrics to it. And then, I'm in a Wonder Bread outfit. But also the music is going so many places that I kind of got them hooked into like, I don't know what this dude's about to do next, and I'm not leaving because I want to figure it out.
Yeah.
And also I pour my heart and soul out on stage. My stage energy, ain't nobody touching me on stage.
Sure.
Like performance wise, you're not coming close because I have so much pent up energy, and then that releases, and they'll be like, damn, this dude is. That's why I work out so hard, because part of it is legitimate stage cardio.
Too much, or you just have the energy that you need to.
So I can keep my vocals and my breath.
Yeah.
I mean, there's definitely times where I am on stage rapping songs and my abs and my whole body feels like it's about to shut down because I'm so tired.
Yeah.
Because I'm like 13 songs into the set.
You're going.
I'm doing high energy rap, playing a lot of guitar. I'm running back and forth. I'm jumping up and down. And then I'll look at the set list and I'm like, oh my gosh, I have this stupid rapidy rap set song coming up next. Like, why did I plan it this way? Because I did I did technically because I got an encore at that Norman show. I did 19 records in an hour. People were like, "You did how much?" I was like, "Yeah, like I punched him in the face, didn't stop."
Yeah,
Which I think is far better when you're playing shows. Quit the talking, get to the music.
Yeah.
Stop maybe every 3 songs.
Yeah.
And say something. Allow space for the
I think you
crowd to come
it's
through.
better than not saying anything though. You got to say something, I feel like.
Yeah, you got to
you connect with the crowd in
yes,
that
and you
way.
got to pick your moments.
Right. But not like all the time or
Never
like,
after don't ever do it after every song.
Yeah.
Like let some shit sit for a second. And then cuz I had like parts of that set where I give my DJ a shout out. When I say,
yeah, right.
You know, didn't y'all say this? Having this, I might explain a song popping up, but like one of the times, I mean, I literally go from like a Memphis style 808 rap record, and then like they see me put my guitar on, and they're like, "Is he about to do like a solo over this?"
Yeah.
And then on the last note, it's like dum 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 dum, and then I'm like dum dum. Dun, 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 and they're like, blues? What in the... It we just hit them with Chris Stapleton vibes all of a sudden. So to hold a crowd of people that never seen me before and that many people for an hour,
yeah, that's impressive.
That's saying something.
Yeah,
as
I think it is like you're saying. Even if they don't know, like people probably say like, "Oh, I don't know." They don't know what's coming next, but they don't care because they know they're enjoying it.
Yep.
You know, so it's like
that's my
whatever it is, even if they don't like. Maybe they come and see like this guy's a really good blues guitar player or something. That draws them in,
and
then they're like, "Well, I'm not really into rap, but I like what he's doing." You know, so it's like you keep them engaged.
Literally something for everybody, but that's not me forcibly trying to cater to everybody.
That's just you.
It's just me. It's just how I grew up. I was always
different...
in tons of different. I was kind of like a loner growing up, but like everybody knew of me.
Yeah.
Like I had a great relationship with the football players, and I had a great relationship with the band nerds, and I had a great relationship with the emo kids, and
everybody.
I could just kind of bounce around between groups,
especially and you're probably interested in like.
And I did all that stuff. Yeah. Like I played football, so I got along with the jocks because I was an athletic human being. I played basketball all the time. But I was still a skateboarder, so that was
that's a whole different side.
I would just kind of switch over to the and then I was hanging out with the band nerds, and that they were great. And so I think my whole entire life experience has
it's been a variety,
you know, because I was in the hood, and then I was in the suburbs, and I was so it was like I've been to trap houses and things like that, which is not a fun place to be. You don't talk about paranoia kicking in, and you're just like, oh my gosh, there's drugs everywhere, guns everywhere, and at any moment, if I'm caught here, I am done. Like, and I ain't even trapping like that. I'm just homies with the kingpin, so to speak. And then it's like, this is not cool. But and you know, so I've always, you know, I always have a song I haven't released. It's called "Churches and Trenches," and it's like I've been to the churches, I've been in the trenches, and honestly, I like people in the trenches are far more real to me. Yeah, like as far as what it is and how life be working, and way less judgmental to an extent. Not to shit on anybody in the churches. Churches can be great. But I think all of that is culminated into who I am now. And I do think, I mean, I think I have a possibility of, I don't know, I've just always wanted to bring cultures together. That's like, I had, when I did the Bottom of the Well EP release party, I can't remember who said it. I think it was Hamza or somebody. I don't know, but he remembered. He came up to me. He's like, "Dude, I looked at your crowd during your show, and he's like, you had Asians, Latinos, blacks, whites, like everybody of every cult like was there enjoying it." And he was like, "That's powerful." And I was like, "Yeah, that's how I would literally want my shows to be like." Like, and I would love to have it to where my shows eventually, you know, I'm headlining, but I have, you know, Fall Out Boys, on the
Yeah.
on the
You
ballot.
have a punk band.
Yeah,
you
and then
have
I can have a rock band, and then I can have a rap band, and then I can have me being the culmination of all those
Right.
singular
That'd be
groups.
sick,
And then the
actually. It's
crowd
like,
is like, "Oh man, I'm here for this." And I, I think this is the era that it's possible because of
Right.
playlisting.
yeah.
Well, it's like, well, hey, I'm an artist that is now your playlist in one album to an extent. Like you can get the vibes from you can get your dance vibes, you can get your acoustic vibes all from me in a flow of a way. So it's hard to pitch people marketing that because they
Yeah,
always want
exactly.
to, oh, if
Try to
you're
put you into a
yes, if you're everything, you're
box.
nothing,
Yeah.
and I'm like,
yeah.
that's not what we live in
I
nowadays.
think. I mean, I was gonna say about you is like as long as you try to you keep staying true to that because like you're saying that's who you are. If you're true to yourself,
yeah,
and that comes through, and people see that. I think that's why people like you and your music because you are you know who you are, you know what you like, and you're presenting that. But like you said, that doesn't help convince the people at the top making those decisions. But
and it comes down to because I've had so many people tell me like, you need to just rap if you're gonna rap.
yeah,
Or you need to just play
stick
this
to one thing or whatever.
And I'm like, yeah, but that's not. Once again, it's like that's not my relationship with music. I wake up, I might want to make a funk record.
Yeah.
I might want to make a
wanna
pop record.
Follow your
It's still me.
Yeah.
I think it'll work out to where people are like, okay, this dude's he's a musical powerhouse. Because it's like I'm not gonna stop.
Yeah.
And I can write really great acoustic records and I can write really good rap records and I can write and I have no default approach to how I approach a record. Like one of my songs Used, which is someone said to me when they heard it live, they're like, what the fuck was that Black Sabbath Jimi Hendrix record you did in the beginning? And I was like, I think he's talking about Used.
Yeah.
And but like that record, for example, came into my head. I was on a balcony talking to my brother, and then like the riff came into my head, and I was like, I gotta stop this conversation. I gotta go record this. Yeah. And then boom, there it goes.
It's built out from there. So
I have no like. Sometimes the words are done before the song. Sometimes the song dictates the words.
Right.
Like the record "Can You" with Gorilla Zoe. It's so funny because the intro is so dope, but it's completely on accident. So it's like I didn't even get to like the actual intro lyrics, and I'm in the studio, and it's like hey, there it is, 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 there it is. I can catch a vibe. It goes into the intro part.
Yeah.
But the hey, there it is, there it is, there it is was I stepped on the headphone jack in the studio and it cut my left ear out, signal. And so like we're recording in the beginning and I'm like, oh cut, I lost left ear. And then I moved my foot and it came back and I was like, hey, there it is, there it is, there it is. And I'm signaling to Kutta, like, don't stop the run. Like, let's just keep this going.
And then you use
hey, there it is, there it is, there it is. And then boom, that such a catchy part of the record right out in the beginning.
Such a spontaneous type thing, right?
And that's the glory of music and how, there's that ability to have some structure but not try too hard. And because like I've done songwriting things where people were like, what the you just went in there and sang in tones. Like we were stuck at one of these verses on one of the records and I just went into the studio. I was like, just play the record. I was like, I'm not gonna say any words.
Right.
Which people mumble track quite a bit too, but like this was almost like I was singing legitly, but like no words.
It was just like syllable.
Yeah,
notes.
I would be like, and they were like, wait, what? And then we stopped that and we'd play it back, and turned into "Believe Me When I Say I'm Moving."
Yeah,
light years through the
you
stars.
kind of figure it out that
and
way.
so we wrote it down. I was like, let's let the melody
right
and the
melody
first initial feel dictate the record.
Yeah.
Because it's like it's real easy to get heady and start overthinking the process when the universe gave it to you right off the first one.
Right.
It was the first one.
Right.
How many times I've recorded takes and takes and takes and been like,
and then you end up using the
first one. They did that with, I think it was Michael Jackson's Pretty Young thing. It was one of his records, one of his big ones.
That one, actually.
He did. They did 17 mixes.
Yeah.
Before they realized that the first one was the best one, and then that's what.
I mean, sometimes you got to do.
Sometimes
that, just to know that it was the first one the whole time.
Sometimes you got to do it just because it's like I don't know
for sure,
but like now it's like okay, but hey, you gained a ton of skills in mixing something that many times.
Yeah,
and I mean I'm grateful for that too because I learned. I mean, when I really started like my own producing. Dude, I used to be. It's so funny because like I was doing this rap stuff, but I couldn't rap what I wanted to rap when my parents were home.
Yeah.
So I would go out to my car, and this was like I'm talking Ohio. It's like 15 degrees.
Shit.
And I'm in my car, little Volkswagen, with a fucking USB microphone and a little keyboard, and just tracking in my thing on a laptop, just on like Pro Tools SE, like
something.
Pro Tools 8 SE, something like that, and just doing it. You know what I'm saying? But like I'm in my car, like okay, it'll warm up quick, like but I wanted to, which I'm glad I had real friends that definitely told me I couldn't rap when I started because I couldn't. I was good at storytelling. Like I had it, but it was. I can always tell when someone is new to rapping now, like immediately. I'm like, oh, you're not there yet, because you're trying to force so much subject into these bars without instead get that same subject across with context clues,
fewer words.
Dictate the words, let the melody. And then figure out how you get your point across without saying every and it, cuz and this and then. So simple is gonna work better. I'm not saying can't be a fast rapper or this or that or have very intricate punchlines or I like doing rap lines where like I'll have a rap line that is the rhyme word and then do like 2 sub rhymes. In the middle, like 2 bars of sub rhymes that bring back to the 4th bar being the rhyme word with what the first bar was. So like, just bringing it back to that word, and you're like, oh, but he rapped he rhymed twice in between his initial rhyme line.
Right.
So I like doing that.
Playing with the patterns.
Yeah, playing with the patterns of it. But yeah, I definitely am thankful because you're only. Here's the thing, people. I'm speaking to you, the viewer. Tell your friends they can't rap.
Yeah.
Tell them.
Don't. Yeah.
Stop the passive aggressive ish. Like tell your friends they are not good at music because there's 2 things that are gonna happen, and both are great. Either A, they're gonna stop, which means the world is full of far less clutter and bullshit music, or B, they're gonna do what I did. And they're going to take that pain because it hurts. No one wants to fucking hear that. But they're going to take it and they're going to craft it. And then they come up with some good stuff.
I think that's something that I think a lot about because I think that hopefully this happened to me, but I don't know. But like the thing that we're the weakest at in our lives sometimes becomes our biggest strength because of that fact because we're so bad at something, we push ourselves to get better at it, and then you end up becoming better at it than most people.
Yep.
And I think that's something that I think a lot about with podcasting because, like, I've always been terrible about, like, just having conversations with people, or it's more so the anxiety of, like, social anxiety and stuff like that.
100%. Yeah, it's the whole thing.
Meeting people and talk. But it's like podcasting for me has allowed me to do it more and have like an excuse or something like that. It's like I have conversations with people like you that
but it's so cool.
Why would we unless we just wanted to go out and have coffee and have a chat about our lives, it's like we wouldn't do this.
Right.
So
it does
cool.
it does open up
but the thing
window.
is my lack of thinking it's like, oh, I'm bad at talking to people has pushed me to do this and want to do this and
Yep.
stuff like that. So
I totally get
it's-
that. Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, a lot of the times, I mean, it is great to work on strengths
Mhm.
and continue to work
yeah.
on them, but like also
Yeah.
like
but-
just opening up, like you said, like with social anxiety, it's like,
Mhm.
but knowing you wanted to talk to
Yeah,
people.
I mean, I ultimately do, but it's like it's hard.
Yeah, it's
like,
that
it didn't-
wall. It's
it
kind
doesn't
of
come
that
naturally,
wall.
Yeah.
I totally get that.
Mhm.
And I mean, shit, nowadays people are a little harder to approach out in
Yeah.
public
Yeah.
spots and stuff like that. Like even just, I mean, I do pretty good
Yeah.
at the bar, but most of the time, most people come up to me, not in like any fame type way. Some people have.
But it's like you look interesting. You look at
Yeah, I get like this
You're
very
always
like
wearing something
enigma
interesting, yeah.
vibe, and people are like, "What do you do?"
It's like, I think it's just your mustache.
The
too,
mustache
too.
is big time.
People
Because,
want to talk to
yeah,
you
when
about
people
that.
see it on a black
Yeah.
guy, they're like,
Yeah.
"You have dreads.
Yeah.
You have this." People love the mustache. I love the mustache.
Yeah.
I don't do it for the attention or anything
Right.
like that. I remember, I think I was like 14 or 15, and we were in the garage with my homies in Ohio, and I told my buddies, I was like, yeah, dude, like when my mustache grows in, like I'm gonna curl it.
Mhm.
And one of my homies is like, don't do that. That's stupid as hell. And my other homie was like, nah, do you, dog? That sounds
Yeah.
dope. And then sure enough, like, yeah, like as soon as I was able to start
Yeah,
getting a
you're like,
little
"All right,
bit,
let's
it
go."
did. And then it grew into a brand, really.
Right. Yeah.
It really, like,
That's what I think. It's
I
like
just
it's
initially
unique.
did it, but now it's like a kind of like a signature.
Mhm. Now you can't stop. That's the problem.
Right.
You
But
can't-
I do like that I look good when it's like down and just a regular
Yeah,
mustache.
Right. You don't have to.
Like I
always-
can still play some acting roles and this and that and be
Yeah,
like
okay.
normal, brush it down. But it's far more annoying when it's not done than when it is
Yeah.
just down. It gets way more in my mouth. I'm like, yeah.
Yeah. Right.
So curling it, and I
Helps
like
with
that I can do it in different styles because like
yeah. You
I
can
didn't do
some-
the hoops for quite some time. I used to do like the bullhorn. Still love the bullhorn
Oh, so it
ones.
just goes straight.
Yeah,
up.
where
That's
they
cool.
U out and they go up.
Yeah.
But like right now, it's like lately it's been trained easier, so I can do it like that, and then it just stays.
Mhm.
And it is. I do like it because it does like open up random conversations that people were like, yeah. I mean, I remember I went to a bar downtown one time. I was going down there because I was hoping I'd bump into this chick that I was dating at the time. And I was like, I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
And then everything was like, just go to there. And I was like, all right, I'm quitting what I'm doing. It was weird. It was like a higher voice telling me, like, just get out of the
Pushing you,
house.
Yeah.
So I remember I went to Henry Hudson's downtown. And I'm just sitting there. And I'm like having a beer. And I'm like, all right, universe. Like, why am I here?
Yeah.
What am I doing here? And then sure enough, it's so random. This guy behind me like, man, I love your boots. And I turn around and he's like, oh, sick mustache. Like, who are you?
Yeah,
What are you
what's
doing?
your
Your
deal?
style is crazy.
Mm-hmm.
And then I ended up meeting him and his wife. And then we ended up left there, went to the club and hung out. And I just met these people. Like,
Yeah.
they paid for like my coat ticket, entry,
Nice.
drinks. They didn't
Yeah,
care. And
just
at first I
hang
was
out.
like, well, what are we getting?
Yeah. Wait a second.
What are you about to ask me to do at the end of the night?
Yeah.
Hey, I was like, I don't know what you're into, but I mean, hey, your wife is hot, so I'll give you that. But no, it ended up just legitimately being like a fun, friendly friendship.
Wow,
Like I still
yeah.
text him.
Yeah.
I'll still hit him up on like Snapchat or stuff, or he'll
Mhm.
see, like the dude that I first met, he'll see me and be like, dude, you're killing it. Like,
Yeah.
So it's so random.
Kind of like even just finding a fan. I mean, hopefully of
Type,
your stuff.
and now he's a fan, but like
Yeah,
at first
right.
he just liked the
But
style
yeah.
and was like, let me buy
But
this
it's
dude
like
a shot. He looks cool.
that's like a follower now that you have that he's
Yeah, he
interested
seen
in
me
what
do
you
the national anthem. He's like,
Right,
dude,
yeah.
hell yeah. Like,
Yeah.
that's so bad. Because he was a vet, too.
especially
So.
like a supporter or just
Yeah.
a friend or
And
somebody
then, like
that
2 weeks
can-
later, we ended up going to, like, a comedy show.
Yeah.
And they were like, no, we'll pay for you. Like, me
Yeah.
and your brother come on through.
Nice.
It was a great time. He ended up getting kicked out of the comedy show. Wow. So we just had all this alcohol and wings in front of us. We were
Yeah.
like, all right, we're getting fucked up. Like,
Oh,
it was
yeah,
fun.
Yeah.
But, like, yeah, just little, like,
Yeah.
random
cool.
moments.
Yeah.
And, things that, like, the mustache has kind of opened up. Like, people,
Mhm.
it's just a conversation starter. But I mean, it's definitely part of the brand, and
Yeah.
I'm not.
Yeah, but
I'm not downplaying it anymore.
It still goes back to that thing, like I was saying, like it's just it's who you are. It's like you said, you wanted to do that when you were a kid. And now you did it. And
It'll
so...
be the Salvador Dali of the music
right,
world. Like it'll who's kidding? Like the mustache is definitely gonna be, or already is. Iconic. It will be down in history. It's like, damn, Cage and his iconic mustache too.
That's what.
But because I remember I found out about Salvador Dali. I already had the mustache. I didn't even know who he was. I was a server at a downtown restaurant, and she was like, "Oh, you have like a Salvador Dali." And I was like, "What the fuck is that?"
You're like, who is that?
And she was like, "Oh, you don't know who that is? I thought that's where you grabbed your inspiration." And I looked it up and saw his, and I was like, "Oh, that's pretty wild."
Yeah.
But guess what? It sells that. It sells Salvador Dali so much more because you now have that. So I mean, at first it just started because I wanted to do it, and then now it's turned into like a. Yeah, if people see me without it, they're almost like, "You all right?
Something's off."
Yeah, like,
I forget about it now.
Yeah.
Like obviously when I feel like I first met you and it's like it was a thing. It's like, oh yeah, you can't not notice it, right?
Right.
But like now, I don't even think about that at all.
It's just part of it.
Like, I think about like I honestly think about the hat that you wear all the time.
Yeah,
the big brown brim.
I do love a big.
I like
brim
those.
hat.
Yeah. So that's kind of what I
had to. I had
had
to.
in my mind.
I had to switch up my style a little bit because I was like, the round hat, guitar playing dude. People are like Gary Clark Jr. Like, son of a bitch. That's kind of what it didn't lead to the bandana.
Oh yeah.
But I mean, I wear bandanas like a lot around like this. It also just helps keep my hair locked in.
Necessary.
And then I'll use my portrait eyewear glasses. If I have those on, they stay in here.
Okay.
So like every bit of my outfit.
Yeah.
Like I love fashion, but also like I love it to be functional. Like it's got to kind of serve like a purpose,
some reason for it.
Like people see me in my camo pants,
and
they're like, "Oh, those are cool," and I'm like, "Well, I actually hunt."
Yeah, it's like
so these are my. It's cold as hell outside, and these are my legit hunting outfit bottoms, and they keep me warm.
Right.
So it's like, of course, I'm gonna wear those.
That's kind of
I have
more
a good
practical thing.
Yeah, far more practical. Yeah, I always say like, fashion isn't fun if it's not functional. Like I don't understand certain art thing. I get some people like want to express inner side of them with like runway modelings and fashion. But for me, as like a fashion designer, I'm like, don't you want people to like wear your stuff?
Yeah, like
you're coming out with these goofy, unwearable articles of clothing that maybe I'll wear once a year for some weird event.
Yeah,
I'm
like really at that point you're only wearing it to get attention. I think
Yes, big time. Like, I'll see some fashion shows and I'm like, that's cool, but like, where am I gonna wear that?
Yeah, I mean, and that's fine. I think that I definitely have. That's something I've being a musician, right? Like I think that's interesting about clothes and what you wear on stage because it's like that's a big deal, right?
Yep.
It's like when people perceive you. But I always like to have fun with it and just wear some not completely wild shit, but I mean shit that you wouldn't normally wear. I think.
Yeah, I think that's
maybe.
No, I think it's a
so
big
I definitely
thing
have some like jackets that I find that's like, oh, this is.
I kind of don't like when, and I like. I mean, personally, I don't know. The garage band vibe is cool, but I think ultimately, like some sort of costume or constructed like idea for artists and bands to wear, like it sells better to me. Like when the band is uniformed, it's like all 5 band members have now become one big entity.
Yeah,
because they all are in the world that they're portraying. It's like Sleep Token. Have you heard of them?
No,
they're a death metal band, and they've got like but they have like one of the funkiest, most soulful breakdowns in the middle of a death metal record, and then all of a sudden it's like. Down,
switch it up.
And he's great voice. It's wild. That's how I found out about him was the clip when people they're like metal reviewers, and then this their soul funk section comes into the song, and they're like, "What the hell?" But it's so good. But like they're all in like costumes. You can't see their face. So like people love that because there's a mystery behind it. You know, bands like Kiss, Squar. You know, kind of like the aesthetic.
Immediately, I thought about like Slipknot or whatever.
Yeah,
like that they would do that.
Would not be as big as they are if they didn't have the mask.
Right.
Guarantee it. Guarantee it. Part of it's the mystery.
Sure. It's like like you said.
I still don't know what they look like.
So or like Daft Punk. That was they had a reveal I think recently.
Never knew what those guys look like unless you went and looked.
Right.
So they created characters.
Yeah, exactly.
Imagine like Marshmello, the DJ. He's so big because you can be white, black, whatever you are, and still love that or see yourself as that in a way because it's a Marshmello.
That's interesting.
It's a character. They fall in love with a fictional character, so to speak.
Kind of an idea or something.
That's better.
Because
they're falling in love with the idea.
Because I think it's easier, like you said, if it's a character that doesn't have a race, then you can see yourself in it. You can connect with it easier because.
Yeah, but if I see like a band, like
anyone can connect with it.
Like a band I really appreciate out here, as far as coordination and like stage display is like Stepmom.
Yeah, I was gonna say that too. Like they definitely
when they wear their all pink,
they embody this world that's this whole
and
idea
it sets the stage, it sets the experience, it sets. They have something going on to where it's not just like, hey, I play music. This is cool. It's like, hey, bitch, I'm a performer. I'm taking all your attention right now.
I think that's probably
the mannequins for me.
I think that all that stuff, like what they do and what you're doing, I think that's kind of a key aspect to being successful.
In my opinion, to go to the next level.
Yeah.
It's like, eventually I'll have dance choreography, guitar choreography, like once I'm able to facilitate that a bit more. Yeah. Totally going to do that.
Yeah. We'll probably go ahead and wrap it up with this. But yeah, speaking of which, is like, what's the future? What kind of, I know you've got a lot of stuff probably coming out ready for this year, but
yeah, I think I'm going to
maybe tease some of that or talk about where people can see you next or find you online.
So I don't have, as of right now, and I'm not even sure, maybe they'll give me the call. I would be shocked if they didn't give me a call. But Norman Music Fest would probably be the next one.
Probably the big show coming up. That'll be in April.
Yeah, a more recent one. I am still looking into some form of tour. I just haven't been wanting to perform in Oklahoma much lately. I'm kind of just like,
Yeah, I mean, you kind of
still
do.
appreciate it.
There's not a lot of opportunities, honestly, and especially once you've done certain things, like you played Norman Music Festival. Okay, what's next? I mean, you gotta kind of have to get out.
Yeah, it's like I really want to expand more live show wise, so I'm really not too focused on Oklahoma. I might just book a show or something just to stretch the limbs and have some fun.
I'm sure you'll be playing out in Plaza again this year. So at some point.
We'll see. Because a big part of me is like, maybe Norman's the last one I do or the only one I do. I'm just trying to elevate myself.
Right.
So it's like I also got to be careful to what I accept.
Hopefully at a Thunder game.
Thunder game would be nice.
See.
Yeah, Thunder. Finally give me the real Thunder and that real pressure. Let me get that. I want that. I need that. But yeah, I would say coming out next. I mean, I really want to drop a lot more music this year. Like I had a decently busy year, but I'm trying to flood. I have so much unreleased music.
Yeah,
it's insane.
You gotta start like we were talking about at the beginning. Just like start that.
Just that momentum drop.
Each month drop a new single.
Even if I don't have like the proper videos or this behind it, and I'm just like, it's fucking month 2. I gotta drop. I told myself I was gonna drop a record. I gotta drop a record. So yeah, like the punk rock record. I'm wondering if that'll probably drop this month. Honestly, like right at the end of it. Me and another great artist from Colombia. She lives here, but Shadia Melody. Super talented, great vocal singer. We have an absolute yammer chilling right now. It's almost like old school Justin Timberland vibes. There's some Outkast like rap because I rap on it, but like bars.
Yeah.
But it's still telling a story. But then like the singing's kind of like Marvin Gaye-ish, like the hook. I was leaning more towards like Marvin Gaye vibes. It's called "In the Name of Love."
Okay.
So
I'll
and
have
then
to
she
check it
comes
out.
in with straight Spanish, and
Oh,
it's
nice.
so dope. It's so
I
good.
love that.
So those are kinds of records. Me and Zoe,
Yeah,
we'll
still
probably
working
be
on
dropping
that.
some more records. We have another record with T-Rail. So me, T-Rail, and Gorilla Zoe. That's a really dope record. That'll probably come out. That should come out this year. And then I'm gonna drop a lot of hip hop stuff. And then for the listeners and viewers, follow me on all social media at Cage the Beast.
Yeah.
It's at CAJ the Beast. That's TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook. You can find me under Cage.
Yeah.
Snapchat should be Cage the Beast. I'll say this year, since TikTok is still with us, I'll probably be posting a lot more on that. Still gonna continue Instagram, but like I would say IG, YouTube, and TikTok are gonna be the main three.
Yeah.
But I'm also gonna start looking into some of these smaller ones that people have mentioned.
I've been thinking, like, I mean, especially like this month or very recently, it's like social media is about to be different soon, or it's like it's going through some things.
It is going through some things, and if
like,
when TikTok went away,
right?
I was like, this is actually very strange
Yeah.
for social media.
Right.
Because
Yeah,
nobody wants to go to Facebook Reels.
But I think it's something, it's like, I think people are starting to find different avenues or trying to discover different things. Like you were just saying, like go to these, like Blue Sky is popping off. Everybody's liking that, I guess.
See, and I need to go ahead and download that and just, it gets, once again, it gets annoying back to being an artist that does everything. Because if I had a social media team, be like, hey, post this to all of them. So, because I don't know if scheduling the post works. When I did my first scheduled post on Instagram, I had like 2 likes in like 5 to 6 hours.
Like,
and I was like, why even do this feature if you're just going to knock it out?
Yeah, they're just
because they want you on the app while you're posting. They want you consuming content. So I haven't tried a third-party app to schedule it for me to see if that works better.
There's a lot of different options, I think, with that, but I mean,
having a schedule. I
don't know what's a good one, honestly. I couldn't recommend anything.
But maybe I'll download Blue Sky. I don't know if I want to get back on X.
I
thought about downloading X again, but it's like I got off there for I just got sick of like OnlyFans posts and just
it's it's
so
becoming very
violent
like
and
unruly these days.
It's pretty unruly, and I'm here for the free speech. I just want us as human beings be better. Like I'll watch. It'll be like a political video, and you'll go to the comments and scroll and read some comments about the post, and then it's like, oh, here's my tits, and then you're like, jeez Louise, like I don't care to see this crap.
Just junk, at some point, because that's a lot of social media, though, honestly.
So I haven't figured out, but I probably need to download them all.
I mean, I don't know.
Just post and see which traction goes.
That's what I was gonna say. But I think the nice thing is that if you can find an audience on 1 or 2 of them, like just stick with those. You know what I mean? Like try them all out and then see which one works for you or whatever. Because I think
like see which one sticks with the following. Because I mean, even posting to Rumble, I need to basically take my entire YouTube videos, all my YouTube videos, and upload them to Rumble, just so it exists. Never know who's gonna come across it. So it's like, okay, gotta just expand to a lot more avenues, and then whichever one sticks the hardest, drive into that one more. I'd rather be TikTok right now as far as like growth.
There's just
growing the TikTok.
I mean, there's so many people that use that. That's the thing I think that's nice about it.
Which I mean, that's it's gotten difficult because as a creator, it's like I want to create art, not content. And it's like
that's where we're all
everyone
struggling.
wants the content.
Like that's
goofy.
how you,
And I'm like, how do I don't even know how my music ties into that. So it's a little tricky, but it'll. I'm just gonna post until you can't ignore me.
I mean, just keep, like I said, keep up what you're doing, because I think that it's ultimately too. I my personal philosophy is just meet people in real life.
Hands
Just keep
down.
meeting people,
Hands
and that's
down.
gonna grow you more than anything online.
100%.
You know,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
I think you do that well because you're always in front of people. You're always meeting people and getting connections.
I do still gotta get better at it.
networking pretty
Which
well.
I'm
I
good
think.
at it, but I could be great
Yeah.
at it. I gotta get out of
Yeah.
my own way with
Right.
because I was at an art show
Mhm.
the other day and I knew my friends and I don't know what it was about it that I was just like, I don't feel like talking to anybody.
Yeah.
So I just like sat, drank beer, and looked at the same 5 paintings
Mhm.
for 30 minutes until my other friends
I'm
showed
definitely
up.
like that. I'm getting better and better.
And I was like, I'm so stupid because I can see people catching eye contact with me.
yeah, and you
but
could be having conversations.
And they're like,
yeah.
I want to talk to this dude,
Yeah.
but he's got this. Sometimes the mysterious enigma vibe doesn't
Yeah,
always pan out
right.
the best because sometimes it's like, can I approach you?
Mhm.
And meanwhile, I'm like, but I'm very smart psychologically, so that like I do pretty good as far as like open body language.
Mhm.
You know, if I'm like if
Right.
I'm willing to talk to
Mhm.
people, I'll be
Yeah.
pretty
Relax and open.
open energy
right. Yeah.
instead of like just sitting on the couch like
Mhm.
this, because that instantly shows like,
Yeah.
oh, he doesn't want to talk to anybody.
Right.
And I'm like, oh
So,
no.
yeah. You
So
can,
I'm pretty
if you're-
open.
If you're aware of that, you can control that and have that.
100%.
You know,
100%. But yeah, everybody, like I said, Cage the Beast on all social medias. Find me on Spotify, Apple
Yeah.
Music, anywhere you listen to music.
Mhm.
It is CAJ,
Yeah.
all caps. There might be some other ones from other countries that might mix in. So look up Cage, CAJ. Lock Me Down is a record you'll
Yeah.
love. Ain't No Sunshine will be one that'll get you. Gorilla Zoe and Cage, those will pop
Mhm.
up.
Those
So
are really good. And those have been doing really well. On
super
there.
well, and that's like
Yeah.
no money behind
Yeah.
that. No money
Yeah.
at all. Just word of
Uh-huh.
mouth, and so it's like, yeah, once I actually put some money behind them, they'll really pop. Because Can Use an
Mhm.
absolute bop.
Mhm.
It's such a good record. So yeah, I'm excited to see where those grow,
Mhm.
and I'm grateful for all the fans that those new records garnished and
Mhm.
brought to me. But yeah, dude, like I said, thanks for having me. I
Yeah,
love doing this.
absolutely.
It's super fun. It's
Yeah,
fun
this
to
has
just
been great.
conversate
Yeah, I love
and
it.
talk, and I think this is a great way. Like, who would have thought podcasting would just been such a great way for humans to learn
Yeah,
about other
right.
humans?
Oh yeah, that's my favorite thing. is
Yep.
Just especially sharing. I mean, I love sharing what I see and what I'm kind of interested in this city and like these people like you and so
Yep.
many other people that I've been watching for years, and it's just like, okay, like this person's over here doing this really cool thing and this, and it's like I like showing that off to hopefully the people that know me.
Yep.
And hopefully sharing and
Dude, it'll
finding
all go full circle. I would definitely say, yeah, like, keep doing this.
yeah.
And then get that. You can find like there's applications that'll take your long form video.
Yeah,
and
do the
cut it down
cutting,
for you.
Yeah, for sure, and start.
And then post them clips.
Yeah, I need to figure something out with that because I think that will help a lot.
Oh, it will 1,000%.
My strategy has been pretty good, or it's been working as far as like I know, like as long as we're consistent with stuff, putting stuff out every week, which we've been doing for over a year. It's like we've started to find a following, and it's we're getting more and more growth, but it's like I know there's more we could be doing to start reaching more people.
Yeah,
quicker.
that's where I'm at. Even on the music level,
Right,
it's like,
same
I've
thing.
done great. So like I
Yeah.
can do more.
So, yeah, thanks so much for
Dude,
coming, man. It's been
Once again, it's
awesome.
been fantastic.
I always love doing these because I feel like I learned so much about whoever it is.
Yeah, dude. I'm
So.
unique human being.
Yeah, man. All right. Well, thanks everyone for watching, and
Bye.
we'll see you next week. All right, that's it. I think that was good.